Welcome. Our camera's a little off. You gotta scoot over here.
Oh.
Welcome, Tim Bartz and
Sarah Davis.
We are live with you on McArthur Live this week. Let me move this. We didn't adjust our camera before we got on here.
Nope.
Whoa.
A little bit lower than usual.
There you go. All right, so we are live with you here today. Welcome. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. We woke up to snow. That's just really weird.
And now it's, what was that temperature again? 45 and sunny.
Yeah.
Like
so
my son's outside playing right now.
So anyway, but hopefully it's nice where you're at. So thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget we are recording this as a podcast. Some of you are probably listening to the podcast, which is great. Come join us live on YouTube. Of course, we do record this podcast live in person, except for next week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And so you can't always check it out live with us on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. But if you're watching this live, you want to listen to the podcast later, check out your favorite podcasting channels, streaming networks. You'll find it over there. Also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, all that other good stuff. Appreciate it. Somebody already mentioned it earlier. I saw that. And don't forget, too, we do have membership available. Want to talk about that?
If you'd like to become a member, it's right there by that subscribe button. It is about $5 a month. I think $4.99. But if you're a iPhone or Apple user, you have to do things differently. You have to go up to the desktop browser, or not desktop browser, but your web browser. Go up to the link, click that little A and big A, and request desktop browser.
And then you should be able to see it. You can
Yes.
join us that way. And you find your membership content under
Community and the membership tab.
Yep.
If you becoming a member, it gives you the green highlighted name and those special boxes that you see beside them. Depending on how far along you've been for a member, it will change color.
Yeah. All right.
So,
well, let's welcome in all of our members. Who all we got in here?
we do not have Ridgeview tonight, so Niles is helping out a lot more. Ridgeview says he may stop in here in a little bit. So, all right, we have David Dingenberg, Dan Foster. I told Niles earlier that Indiana often has all 4 seasons in one day. We have Vols 44. Kansas and Missouri weather are about the same. Both are on the Great Plains and subject to wild weather swings. Yep. Patty W., who we will be talking about here in a little bit. Marcia R. She just joined last week.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Nope, no Ridgeview. Stacy L.
Maybe he said maybe later.
Yes, maybe later. He's getting to do a bucket list activity tonight, so he's excited. And I'm like, well, we can handle it. We got Niles and me and Tim, so we can handle it tonight.
You guys gotta be good.
Yes, be good for Niles.
We got Jocelyn in here. We got Misty.
Yeah.
Thank you for the Super Duty Job 2 info. No problem. We finally got our
The
got
Wish
our
version
truck
of
ordered.
Ridgeview.
What?
Niles says, I'm the Wish version of Ridgeview. Do you know what Wish is?
I don't understand what that is.
So Wish is a app that you can go and purchase things off of, but it's usually like cheap knockoffs and well, not cheap. Well, it's very cheap. It's like 50 cents for something that would usually be $50. So.
All right. Let's see. We also got James Chapman. We got
in McArthur, beautiful spring here in Tennessee. Dave Dankenberg, Gene Hanks from North Mississippi.
Marine Vet put in a Bronco order with us yesterday.
Roderick Quibido. Philippe Gon. I do not know how to say your last name. So Philippe. Who else do we have here? We have quite a few in here today.
Yep, quite a few members.
Roy, he placed a.
Roy, yep.
Yep, he placed a Bronco order.
Mark's in here.
Mark Shee is here.
So talking about let's talk about members for a second, and some members that have orders. So last week, Sophie Syke, which you've seen in here a lot, they came and picked up their Maverick last week. So very fun to see them, talk to them, and got a photo up there. So they were here picking up theirs last Thursday. So welcome. So, I'm glad they're in here. Now also, this week, yesterday, Sarah did a short. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that or not, but she did a short on, that's the right one, right? Donna's.
I think so.
Their Maverick. I know it was a white Lariat, and so
Yes.
there we go. So there's hers.
We did Member Maverick Monday.
Yep, there's that one. And today we had this one show up. So Mark, yours showed up today. I don't know if you've been notified of that or yet not.
He just landed in Vegas.
He just landed in Vegas. Well, there's your Maverick that's in Kansas. So, but it looks beautiful. I like the cactus gray with the black appearance package.
Yes.
So it looks real sharp. That is a hybrid, by the way, and it does have the spray and bed liner and the bed rail combination there in it too. So, all right. So there you go. So a couple different members that have gotten their vehicles. So we do track them a little bit closer. Orders that are with other salespeople, they get tracked too. But
Yes.
the members were just kind of like. We do member video on Livestream on Friday. We kind of go over some stuff with those members that have orders, and then on Saturday we do a lot walk. And so sometimes we're able to see those vehicles when they come in. So it's always fun time there. Don't forget, we do have a merch site set up. So I actually got a hat off of it. I paid the same price as everybody else. So there you go. And I actually got some stickers, so I'm giving those out at Bronco Supercell. Plus they might come with us on all of our meetups and such.
Francis, if that membership video went a bit too fast for you, you can rewind and rewatch that bit.
About the iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically you have to have a desktop version of your browser for it to work.
Because
so whether it be
app
an iOS
charges Apple to be able, or Apple charges YouTube to have that join button there, because in the app, I don't know why exactly, but Apple charges YouTube to have that join button in the app, and so by requesting desktop browser, they can get around that fee.
Yep. I forgot the little graphic for the members. I'm going to get better at that. All right. So also videos this week. I didn't have a lot of video content because we were at the farm show for 3 days, which might actually bring out a video that we're probably going to do in the future on the on frequently asked questions on EVs, based on like what we learned from some of those people that came in and asked us. Very good people asking a lot of good questions and open to things. So we'll do that. We did have one go live on the Bronco ordering update and such on Friday, because even though it was kind of proprietary information that Ford gave us last week, I'm like, you know what? It's already been out there in several different other videos and everything. I need to tell people about this, what's going on and everything. So I made sure I did a video on Friday. So Charles, thank you. 12 months. He's been with us for a year. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So this week we'll kind of do. We're going to take off the different sections of these videos. Started doing that a couple weeks ago. Scheduling news, dealer news. Those you'll see go live on Wednesday. So three shorter videos to this live stream. So the scheduling information, the dealer news, and the recall information will go as separate standalone videos that we'll have go live tomorrow. So you guys can check it out. And then sometimes I take the main subject, depends on how well it goes, into its own video as well. So we expect to see those, as well as possibly still plan to do a video on the tonneau covers, pros and cons of the different tonneau covers. So anyway. Should be on Facebook Live this week. I don't have the link in the description, but I'll put it in there later. But we'll have that. Just go to our Facebook page, and we always create an event. So go to our events on our Facebook page, and you should be able to find it come Thursday. And let's talk about meetups for a second. So Next week, we are not going to be here. Well, next week we'll have a video for you next week, but it'll be a pre-recorded video of pretty much all this section, minus the Q&A. So we'll pre-record all that section for you guys, so you guys can come in here, chat with each other and everything. But we, depending on what's going on in New York at the time that it airs, we may not be in there with you guys. So just want to let you guys know that. But all the content that I normally deliver, the scheduling information, news updates, and everything else, we're gonna record that Monday night, and so that you guys will have that content next Tuesday. But we'll be traveling, so we'll be enjoying New York probably. Whenever I'm traveling, I've had a couple bad issues with doing live streams while traveling, so I'm not going to try doing that anymore. So if we're traveling on a Tuesday, we're just going to do a pre-recorded video for you guys. But it'll be gone as what they call premiere video, so it will be at 7 o'clock live, so you guys can chat with each other, leave comments and everything. And if we end up jumping in there that night, then we'll be in there with you as well. But that gives you guys an opportunity to kind of talk to each other during that premiere video. But in New York City, on April 6th, we're going to do a meetup for anybody that wants to. We're going to be there. That'll be after the media days. And so what we thought would be fun, because we want to go on a boat ride around the Statue of Liberty and such. Yes. We heard the sunset is the best time. We want to do a sunset boat ride, right? So anybody else that wants to meet up with us, that's what we're going to do, is we can meet up and go for a boat ride together. So you need to let us know. So email the FordVideoGuy@gmail.com there. That's Sarah's email there. Let us know if you're interested in meeting up with us in New York. We'll get tickets for that evening to be able to go out on a boat ride, and it'll be a lot of fun. A couple hours, we can hang out, talk to each other, learn a little more about each other, have some drinks, that kind of thing. And I think it'll be fun because we'll get to see some, New York in the sunset, which is supposed to be just phenomenal. So
gorgeous, and we get to see some of those sites that are a must-see when you go to New York. So
it'll be a lot of fun. So that's what we're planning to do for that. So if you're wanting to go to that and meet up with us there, you need to email us, let us know so we can make a list and then get that together. And we'll get your tickets for you guys. You guys got to meet us there, but that's why we want to make sure that we know who else is going, so we can make sure we get them tickets for that. So we want to get the tickets in advance.
And what day are we doing that on?
On the 6th.
On the 6th. So what? That's next.
I'll have to look up on the website what. I didn't go over that, but if you're interested, let us know and we'll let you know that kind of stuff.
So Thursday.
Yes, that's that Thursday night. So Thursday the 6th. I'll be at Bronco Supercell with my wife. Sarah won't be there. Friday night, the 21st.
I gotta hold down the fort here.
Yeah. Friday night, because it's more of a vacation than a business trip for that one. But so we're gonna do. Those that want to join, I think what we're gonna do is, since I'll have my a spot in the field, the show field or whatever, of maybe just meeting up with people there that want to go, instead of trying to find a restaurant, because there's going to be 1,000 Broncos, plus all the people that come with the Broncos in Townsend is going to be super busy. Probably the restaurants are going to be swamped every night. So we thought, well, let's just maybe even do just a camp out, that kind of thing. So if you're interested for that as well, then you want to email us too. You can email me for that one if you want, so that I can keep that list going. And I know Mike is going to be there, Mahathi, and I know Ridgeview might be there too. So he's talking about driving through from Florida back to Maine, and might actually make a little trip through there. So, and come by and see us. And then I want to also promote something else that's going on because they need a little help. So we have, what's it called? Is it called the Ford National Car Show or something in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, June 2nd to the 4th. If there's at least, I think the deadline is April 18th for that, to register your vehicle if you want to be in it. So if you're in that area and you want to take your Maverick over there, they need 25 Mavericks. They have 18 signed up. They get to 25, they get their own special area. And if you get to 25, Sarah and I will be there. Probably our spouses as well. So
Leo said if I go, he will go.
So we're gonna make a little trip of it. Maybe take a little time and go through New York or go to DC. So have a little fun, fly into DC and then rent a vehicle and come on up there. But so there you go. Sign up. Go to Maverick Truck Club. I don't have the link, but if you just go to Maverick Truck Club, probably search for Carlisle Car Show.
If you just type in the Carlisle Car Show, it'll certainly pop up for you.
Yeah. So Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. So
Today it was on the main page. So the
They are-
moderator of the forum is boosting it each day, so it's
Yeah.
on the main page.
They are. So that'll be a lot of fun. I see just All Train Nation jumping in there.
Yes.
Got to say hi. So I had a lot of fun on his. Actually brings us to the next thing, channels we support. But All Train Nation has a live stream every
Yes.
Monday night at, I think it's 8 o'clock our time. No, 7? I don't know. Anyway, but I usually go from Johnny's Car Care Reviews live stream right into theirs. I think we've got a great community that kind of respects each other and does their
Yeah.
live streams at separate times. And it was a lot of fun jumping on. I always like to join and listen to Bronco information, Bronco news, Bronco people they have on there is always good information. And last night he actually had me come on, and it was a lot of fun. So so that you have to check if you want to go back and rewatch that. You should be able to rewatch it and check that out. But that was a lot of fun. So thanks for having me on and send me the links. That was a chance to talk, and can't wait to see you guys at Bronco Supercell.
New channels.
New channel.
Ragnar Khan has now started up a channel. He has 2 videos in there. So go check out his channel. He helps out in the forums, the Bronco forums, a lot.
He's in here tonight.
He's in here tonight. He's one of our members. In fact, he has a little greeting each week. By royal decree, the great Ragnar Khan has declared that 7:08 p.m. is the new 7 p.m., and therefore I am not late. We always enjoy your little intros on here.
Mm-hmm.
Your declaration of I am here.
Yeah. So
So,
we have links to all
yes.
those in the description. Overlander, they're on there. Bird Dog Overland's in there. We have, I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them we support. Johnny's Car Care Reviews, of course, for a long time when it comes to news information.
Are we getting a good list now?
Yeah, Bronco Nation. I enjoy those. And Driven Wild Outdoors as well. I leave those all in the description. And I'll add to it. Bronco, I think it's also one that I started watching.
Okay.
And there's one Northeast Off-Road, I think, or something. Anyway, there's a bunch of others that I watch. And so if you're into Bronco stuff, I got a bunch of them because that's the ones I tend to watch as well. And of course, Town and Country TV, they don't really need help, but I watch theirs as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Real quick, Purdue Guy in LB is a member. Thank you for joining. He just became a member just now.
Oh, awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah, we took away the little alert down the corner.
But I kept it keyed up here so that way I could congratulate you and welcome to the crew. Don't forget to send me your email address and your information so we can get you your new member packet.
Yep. All right. Move on to Good Dealer Highlights.
I thought it was good dealer moments.
Highlight, whatever.
Okay. Hi, Tim. I want to thank you for all the great information and customer support you have been providing about the Ford Maverick. It has been quite a crazy ride waiting for my XLT Hybrid, but I finally picked it up on March 4th at Hansel Ford in Santa Rosa, California. My order took 521 days from order date on September 25th, 2021 to delivery at dealer on February 28th, 2023. I had dropped all the factory installed options except for the Lux package and Copilot 360 and did not dare add the spray and bed liner and rail option for fear of further delay. My dealer and salesman were responsive to my questions and went above and beyond to get my new truck to a local jobber for a spray and bed liner installed before I came to pick it up. Thank you so much to Drew G at Hansel. My wonderful salesman and sales manager, Marshall Young, who took such great care of me. This is my second truck purchased from Drew G at Hansel, and I have been so happy with him. There we go.
There you go. So that was their vehicle. They even put a bow on it for them. We do that sometimes around Christmas time. There you go. All right. So good stuff there. So let's move on into tonight. We're going to talk. Well, let's just go ahead and dive into this here. To our scheduling notes and information. So just to understand, scheduling means that they're scheduling orders for production dates in the future. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's scheduling this week. Also, we'll talk about for next month, which should start, I had that down actually, should start April 10th. The week of April 10th is probably when we'll see April's scheduling information and scheduling start for those allocations. Most dealers won't receive those allocations till right after the first of that month. In fact, on the Bronco, they're going to base that off of the month end instead of off of the 20th, which is what they typically talk about. Well, we'll talk about that into the when we get further in. So
there we go.
All right, so tonight we're working on. We don't have a new keyboard yet. Sarah loves chatting with you guys, so she's going to use her phone. So she's not messing around her phone. She's actually messaging you guys.
Yeah, because it's either I don't chat with you guys and I sit here and maybe do some of the stuff, or I pull out my phone and I chat with you guys. So I pull out my phone to chat with you guys.
So we'll do that tonight, but next week when we go to New York, we're gonna hit the B&H and we're gonna try that. We'll work on we'll get a silicone keyboard for her.
If not there, I'll find a silicone keyboard online on Amazon, come out to us and.
Yep. All right. So let's get into this. Hopefully I don't have to pull out my glasses. So all right. 24 Mustang is not scheduling this week. We probably know the order banks are now open. All Train Nation put in an order on a GT, I believe. And so, yes, so they're open right now. COVP is required. COVP is Customer Order Verification Program. That's where you send over to Ford, the buyer's order that's signed and filled out by the customer, the order sheet as well, and a copy of the driver's license to show it's a real person. So there you go. So,
by the way, some people say they like the clanking of the keyboard. Well, too many people.
We try to make everybody happy, so maybe we shouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, too many people keep commenting about it.
All right, so that's for this week. So they're not scheduling, but for April, which should happen the week of April 10th, they will be doing scheduling for those orders that are in the order bank to start being pulled and scheduled for June production dates. So there you go, All Train Nation. Dave, you might get scheduled for June production date. So we'll cross our fingers there, and maybe you need to let me know what you ordered and see if there's any changes that need to be made. No accessories. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, moving on. 23 Escape is not scheduling this week, and for next month, of course, we just still have a couple weeks that they're going to schedule yet, but I got the information this week for April's scheduling information. That's why I'm kind of shared it with you in this video along with this. So next month they are not going to schedule at all for plug-in hybrid. So I know we have a couple of people that ask about that a lot of weeks, but they're not going to be scheduling for plug-in hybrid on the Escape. And also they're not going to schedule any panoramic Vista roofs. Zero, they said. They said that they recommend, they're not going to allow for any stock orders for Escape. And they recommend for people, if they want to get scheduled anytime soon, they're going to probably take that off. So anyway, there you go. So it'll probably be close to July. It says significant moonroof constraint. It says 10%, but they told us 0 through July will result in scheduling delays. So they're going to have an issue. So since they're going to be scheduling for June production dates, there'll be no moonroofs probably, and probably even in July. So the next 2 months. So if you want one, take that off of your orders. And it did say that they have not shipped out the 23s yet. They're getting the okay to buy soon. So there you go. So, if we do have any questions, then we did go ahead and start the question box. So if any of this information triggers some questions for you, drop them in there. Once you put the question in there, you probably won't see the question, but it is in there. And we'll get to those questions. We're going to do them in order, just so you know that. So we won't forget about anybody's questions. We'll get through all of them. We always make sure that we do. So, all right, moving on to Bronco Sports. They are scheduling this week. Just a note for next month, they're going to be scheduling for, actually I didn't put it in here, but it should be for June production dates. And they did say for stock orders, dealers will not be able to order a Big Ben or a base. Only the Outer Banks and Heritage Editions will be able to be ordered. And then they said Big Ben and Badlands will still be able, customers can still order them though. And then don't forget, body colored roof now is standard on all of your Badlands and Outer Banks. And if you want the black roof, it's extra $500 and can be added as a standalone option.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you so much.
23 Edge they are scheduling. It says cleanup scheduling, so they're filling those last holes. I don't know why we never get in. Like, we were looking today, we still have a couple 22 edges in. I'm like, where's our 23? So it doesn't seem like we get any. And we're having a hard time getting ours scheduled. They are scheduling for next month. They'll be scheduling for May production dates, and they're only one more month away from being the build out, which means they're gonna schedule out to the end of their production cycle. So for the year. 23 Bronco, no scheduling this week, probably because those orders are still being put in. They don't want to miss anybody and get an opportunity. Order banks opened up yesterday. They are still open as of right now. I haven't seen any dealer bulletins yet saying they're going to close or anything. Maybe I should check my email real quick. I do have 34 in the last hour. All right, let's see here. Nope, no dealer news update yet. So there we go. So COVP is required. So they are very, they want to make sure everybody knows you need to do the COVP on your order. So I know I turned my head, so you probably didn't hear me, but so I'll repeat that again. COVP is required on those. Order banks are still open. Now in June, in April for scheduling, they are going to be scheduling for June production dates next month, which would start in a couple weeks. They said they're not doing any Heritage Limited Edition scheduling or Bronco Raptor scheduling for the entire month. So it's kind of a bummer. And we'll talk a little bit more about Bronco a little bit, what you can and can't get, and some things to think about. 23, we'll talk about now that your order's in, what can be done, what happens next. We'll go on into all that for those that have new orders. 23 Explorer, we're going to do, they are going to be scheduling this week for cleanup scheduling, so fill in those last slots. So basically dealers that still have allocations not fulfilled will have an opportunity. And then we do have their next month, they're going to be scheduling for June production dates. So you want to keep that in mind as well. A couple different updates for Explorer we're going to talk about during the dealer update that we just received today. 23 Expedition is scheduling again for cleanup, so those dealers that still have allocations left. And then next month they'll be scheduling for June production dates. So on most models they schedule about 2 months in advance. So F-150 and Super Duty are the only two that are different. They're always usually 1 month ahead. And then Expedition, they reminded dealers you need to add the heavy duty trailer tow package, that the trailer tow prep package is not available right now, so you need to make sure you add those. And also almost about every trim level is only available for retail, so it looks like you're not going to be able to put any stock orders in. So 23 Maverick, it does say they're scheduling for production weeks of 5/22 and 5/29. And they are scheduling for U.S. fleet retail and stock orders. That would be the Tremor. And next month they'll be scheduling for June production dates. So of course don't forget about those key constraints: the tow hitch, splash guards, the load, the tray liner, the one that's just on the bottom, and your trifold bed cover. 23 Ranger, no scheduling this week, and next month will be the last week they're scheduling for 23 production. So that is what they call build out. So they're going to be scheduling next month for the month of April to finish out. So June is when they're going to finish out production for the 23 Rangers. So July, June, middle June, July is when they're going to start scheduling. So order banks should be up open. We've heard nothing about it. Yeah, anyway, there you go. 23 F-150 is scheduling for the week of 4/24 this week, and for next month they'll be scheduling for May production dates. They are not going to schedule Raptor R's next month. And then there's a lot of different constraints on there, which we can go through in just a little bit. I actually have some updated commodity constraints on a lot of different models that we can talk about. If we want to break that out on a separate section, we might need to do that because there's a bunch. 23 Super Duty, they are now scheduling. They've converted to Job 2, so they are scheduling for that. They have been having issues with the onboard scales and the smart hitch before being able to come up on Webdo or the Lariat trim. It's there now. I selected it. I was able to do that Saturday, so that's available. But the 355 with the FX4 package is still not available in Webdo. It's grayed out. They're saying it's supposed to be able to do that, so it's a little concerning that it isn't. I have a message in with the brand manager. Haven't gotten a reply back yet. Just sent it over today. Next month will be for May production dates. Again, they only schedule about a month in advance. And I'll give you the breakdown of numbers here in just a little bit on the different trim levels for job 2. For those that are wanting a King Ranch and such, you can see what your chances are on getting one of those. All right. Transit Connect van is not scheduling this week, and they're not scheduling next month either. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Transit Connect wagon is not scheduling this week. They are scheduling next month for June production dates. 23 Transit, they are scheduling this week for the weeks of 5/15 and 5/22, and next month they'll be scheduling for June production dates. You can see, like I said, most of them go 2 months in advance. Mach-E does say they're scheduling this week, and it says next month they are not scheduling, so for the entire month, so which is crazy. There you go. So let's talk about some key percentages. I need the glasses for this. You guys got to see how small this is. Okay. All right. So on the Bronco, we'll skip that. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Bronco Sport. There it looks like to me this is for April's production, so it's not for this necessarily this week or anything. Just so you know this. For the Bronco Sport for April for June production time. Badlands and Heritage Limited, it looks like they're not going to be scheduling those. Just so you know that. They have 0% on those, on the mix on that. Also on the Edge, Titanium Lux package, that's at 301A, and the ST High package, which is 401A. For May production dates, they're not going to be scheduling those two. So you have that. Escape, now we already talked about the plug-in, not scheduling. It does say it looks like Hybrid and Base is not going to be scheduling either. And of course, we mentioned Panoramic Vista Roof is not scheduling. Explorer, wow, there's a lot here. I would say for June production dates, Base, Limited Hybrid, Platinum Hybrid, ST 401A, hands-free liftgate. Also the it says the option 91X, which is less the HVAC. The rear HVAC on the Base and XLT without the appearance package. You almost need like a degree on this to read all this stuff. A technology package and the hotspot, which is the optional delete available 59W, 0% for all those. We're going to talk about the something else that's coming back on the Explorer here in just a little bit. Also, F-150 double the crew cab. For May production dates, 82% is their capacity. So that's what they're going to try to schedule is 82% of the orders will be the Super Crew, which we've seen actually several months where they were looking for Super Cab and Regular Cab. Now they're kicking back to the Super Cab or the Super Crew version again. 80 to 82% of those that are getting scheduled will be 4x4s. So, which that's pretty much what most people are doing. Now the breakdown on the engines, if you wanted that breakdown, hold on, I might need a tape measure here. Get in line here. 2.7 is 25%. Looks like the 3.5 hybrid is 15%. The 3.5 EcoBoost is 40%, and the 5.0 is 25%. Now all those had like a range there, and I rounded up on all those. So if the number don't come out to 100%, that's why. The 20-inch aluminum wheel, 2%. So if you have that optional wheel, oh wait, no, that's the tonneau covers. Tonneau covers is 2%. That makes more sense. 20-inch alloy wheel is 13%. Tremor 401A is 4%, but the 402A is 3%. Your XLT black appearance package 7%. The Lariat black appearance package is only 4%. The Platinum appearance package is 1%. And the STX black appearance package is 2%. So all those appearance packages are very low on there, and Heritage Edition is 1%. If you want one of those, we got a bunch on our lot. We'll sell you. Super Duty. All right, so moving to Super Duty, King Ranch, they are looks like their capacity is about 7% or 9% is what for May production dates. That's what they're going to be scheduled for. So 9% of their the ones they schedule for will be, or produce, I should say, will be King Ranch. 11% will be Platinum. 7% will be Limited, and 26% Lariat, which that's a pretty good number for Lariat. Now, if you're looking for the engines, we do have 20% for the 6.8 liter gas engine, 48, so about half of them for diesel, the 6.7 diesel, 22% for the high output diesel, and then 18% for the 7.3. Tonneau covers 0%. We're going to talk about accessories and stuff here in a second. And so I'll just remind you right now, I just said 0% for tonneau covers on the Super Duty. The Panoramic Vista roof, 15%. Spray and bed liner, 22%. So that's less than a fourth. So, okay. Anyway, hopefully I'm making my point here. Running boards, 30%. Fifth wheel, 24%. The 18 cast aluminum wheel on the XLT is 10%. That same wheel, well, not the same wheel, but the Lariat cast aluminum 18 is 9%, and heavy duty alternator is 4%. So there you go. Expedition. So these are things that they're not going to be producing at all for June, which is scheduling in next month. Mahogany interior on the Limited. The dual exhaust, 0% of those. The 22-inch alloy, 0%. Running board, the color accented one, is 0%. That's what's on the XLT 202A and the Limited 301A. And then the Limited 303A, 0. They're not going to make any of those in the month of June. And then, of course, you need to get the heavy-duty trailer tow package. Let's see, what else? Transit, there's a bunch on here. I don't know if we want me to go through those. I feel like I've been doing this for a while. Transit Trail, 2%. It launches May 29th for production. So for June production, 2% of the orders, or once they're going to be built, will be the Transit Trail, which would be cool to see those once they actually get built. I think we actually have a couple of people order those here, so that'll be kind of fun. So we'll see if they get scheduled. Anyway, the high roof, 35%, the medium roof, 40%, and the low roof, 30%. So that's kind of the breakdown on the roof sizes. Power sliding door, 0%. The front camera is 5%. The high resolution rear camera is 12%. The PowerPoint plug level 2 is 1%. Crew van, 0. Power board, 0. Barn door, 0. And 0 for the 10,360 GVW package on the van, cutaway, and chassis cab. So there you go.
They're having fun with super chats.
Huh?
They're having fun with super chats.
I see that. All right. Mustang, and this is for the 24 Mustang for June production. So, All-Terrain Nation, if you're still in here, hopefully I didn't push you away with the boring stuff here, but here's the numbers if you have any of these. Night Pony package includes the black painted roof. 5% is their breakdown, their mix there. Dark Horse version is 0%. It's saying manually allocated, so it doesn't look like they're going to start producing the Dark Horse in June. The 5.0 GT, 50%. So 1 out of 2. Every other one coming across that line will be a GT. Convertibles, 20%. A GT Performance Pack, 0%. It is saying it's a retail only. Bronze Appearance Package, 5%. The wheel and tire, the wheel and stripe package is 2%, and the Recaro leather seats is 7%. So there you go. Haven't mentioned Maverick yet, right? Well, I got Maverick right here as well. They have changed the mix for the Eco versus hybrid. So some people might be like hearing this. The hybrid is now up to 40%. So it went up from 35 to 40% now. Mm-hmm. That's good. We're good. We just need to get it to that 50, right? So they have ramped up production for June. So June we're going to start seeing 40% hybrid, and hopefully by June or July we'll start seeing an uptick in the production altogether. XLT luxury package is 30%, so that's pretty good, and I think actually that's the same number. Trimmer package is 8%. Trimmer appearance package is 3%. The tow hitch is 63%. I think that's gone down a little. Tonneau cover hard trifold, 5%. The hard roll-up is 2%. Bed tray liner is 1%. Bed extender, 2%. The 360 package is 60%, which is a good number. And the splash guards front and rear is 5%. So you notice the small numbers are all those accessories. So there you go. So that's all the scheduling information. I know it was a lot, but that's anytime when we go over June production information or the next month, I like to share that with you guys so you have a good idea And again, it's going to be 2 weeks. Not this week. Next week will still be part of March's scheduling for dealers who have allocations still. And then the next month it will be they'll be working towards April allocations and scheduling for the June months, unless it's the F series. So there you go. All right. Anything else we need to cover there before we move on to the dealer news, right? That we're at.
Yeah.
See, I'm boring her. So.
No.
It's a lot of information.
We were up late last night. We were trying a new bedtime routine. But Ragnar
like
says potato chips or tortilla chips.
I-
Depends on the night.
I've been on a tortilla kick lately.
I've actually been on a tortilla and salsa kick, but if I don't want salsa, I have Lay's with sour cream with ranch.
You got that from your mom. All right. That's
I
what she
do
does.
need a nap, but I don't get naps anymore.
All right. Bear with me. They'll get you in there. All right. So let's move on to the dealer news.
Oh, and we will answer questions at the very end.
Yep. We'll get to it. So, moving on to this. So, talking about, we went through some of the capacity and constraints there, but Ford has brought out information, dealer news on the Bronco dealer installed options. And they said that by selecting dealer installed options, customers who are placing an order are able to customize their Bronco to be built to their professional lifestyle choices. So they say allow for customers to put those on. The dealer installs those. So that's how that works. So basically, you buy the part and the dealer installs it for free, which is pretty much how that works. And I think our service department gets a kickback from Ford on some of that. Not near what it should be, but that's what happens. I will say this, though. They mentioned in here, and they even had a hero card that showed all the different DIOs and everything they provide for those. I still say get those later. There were a lot of them. As I put in orders, a lot of the DIOs were grayed out. So we weren't even able to select it. So if you go to your dealer and say, I want to add some DIOs, and I saw this out there, keep in mind, if the dealer says they can't add it, they probably are right, because I noticed there were only maybe a handful of DIOs that we were able to add yesterday to orders. So maybe that'll change, but I don't know. Still recommend getting it later. And you know what? I've been having a lot of fun putting them on myself. So anyway, we got one more thing, and then we're going to bring in Patty's image there and kind of talk about that. What did I do with that? Did I leave it over here? Nope. Oh, I put it right under here. Okay, I'm coming. All right, so next one is on the spray and liners. So Ford came out with a bulletin that said spray and bed liners have available capacity to meet customer demand! Exclamation point. Factory spray and bed liners do not delay vehicle production or truck delivery. So they have this little graphic that they showed, or little, they call it a hero card. I don't know if I can share it. I guess I'm going to share it. We'll find out if I get in trouble. So, and it talks about the tough spray and bed liners that they can put those on their vehicles. F-150, it's $595 for that. They can do $18,800 per month. They says additionally $6,000, so their take rate is 27%, which I think means that's how many they can put on their order. So, but here's the deal. Well, let me just go through all the numbers, and then I'll tell you my opinion on this. Okay, Super Duty is $595, and they said their capacity is $13,000 per month, and their take rate is 32%. And Ranger is $495, and they said they can do $3,700 a month, and they feel that their target take rate is 50%. And on the Maverick, it's $495, and you get the free bed rails if you want to add that. $2,400 per month. And they're at 28%. Well, at one point they said they were at 40%. Now this is saying 28%. So something's not jiving here. But here's my opinion on that. So if you have an order in, this is all a numbers game, right? So if you have an order in, and they say, hey, we're going to pull and schedule, 40% is our capacity on spray and bed liners. That means out of 10 orders, 4 will be a spray and bed liner, but 6 of them will not be. And same way on the others. And we did talk about on the Super Duty, we talked about how it's a constraint and it's on there, right? And so I mean, especially when it comes to spring bed liners, I mean, most dealerships can source that out for you. They can find a place. Bed covers are a serious thing, and it's not because it's not that they can't get the bed covers. So that's what a lot of people think. Well, why is it that a dealer can get the bed covers but the factory can't? It's not that they can't get the bed covers. It's that they have to put them on. So they don't have machines to assemble those like they do the rest of the vehicle. They have people assembling them. So instead of having a factory for so many workers assembling them, why not send them to the dealers and let the 3,100 dealers assemble them instead? That's something to think about. But again, they kind of throw that in with the assembly, and so that's why you get it for free. So depending on what that cost is to install it or install it yourself, that's something to do. So kind of speaking of that, so here's Patricia. She is one of our members, so she got a Bronco, or not a Bronco, she got a Ranger. You can see that is, I believe, that Jungle Edition, which is very limited in production. And she said in here, she sent this email to me. It says, last weekend, my DIY truck projects included a hard rolling tonneau cover and elevate rack system with platform for tent, canoe, kayak. Says the weekend before that was a tailgate strut, tailgate protector, and mud flaps and hood struts. I firmly believe not ordering accessories from the factory is the way to go. Everyone who orders from you should let Niles and the aftermarket crew do this for them. I did the work myself because I do not trust the dealers around this area of, I won't say what state. She can say it. Put it in the comment if you want. I guess it doesn't matter because it's a big state, right? Virginia. So there you go. I am planning some extended camping trips this summer. I hope to swing by and say hello and hopefully have time to get you all the ceramic coat get you all to ceramic coat my Ranger. It says, thanks for all the time and care you put into your automotive education and experience, Patty. And she is actually was in the live stream. I don't know if she is or not still, but there's her.
I know, that color's gorgeous.
That is pretty. I actually saw one pull in today. We actually sold one, and they are from here in town, I think. They had service done, and it's pretty cool. So there you go. I say that because I've been doing my own I call them my own stunts on the Bronco, and yeah, it's been fun. So I've been doing some fun stuff with that. So there you go. I still firmly believe if it's something that's a lower capacity, just have the dealer put it on or put them on yourself, and that kind of stuff. So there is a couple things that tomorrow I'm bringing the Bronco in with the tailgate table, because I'm going to have the dealership install it for me because I don't trust myself to drill into the back of the tailgate. So we're going to have that done. And while they're at it, I know I could do this myself, but I'm going to have them put the hood struts on from Rough Country as well at the same time. So we're going to get those put on. So
we were putting on our new screen door, and I was so nervous because we were having to drill our own holes for the door handles and for everything. And I'm just like, if we mess up, it's done.
I think I could do it, but
we've spent all this money for nothing.
I'm getting a little,
but
I am getting a little cut because we're only a couple weeks away from Bronco Supercells. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just have them do it this week, and I'll be done with those projects. So all right, moving on. A couple other ones. One of them is on the Bronco Sport. So you can online order a couple different vehicles. Most of them are EVs. So the F-150 Lightning, you do the reservation and ordering online. The Mach-E, you can order it online or through the dealer, either one. And now they're adding in a couple states in Alaska, Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. So they were all the two-letter abbreviations. So I feel proud that I actually got them all. So the Bronco Sport can now be ordered online as well. So it does say dealer will likely impact. It's the West market area dealers over there, but they say they hope that it will cross into additional market areas in the future. So usually the way that works is you would go online, basically build out your Bronco Sport how you want it. You select your dealer, you put down your deposits, and then the order then gets sent to the dealer, and the dealer has to accept the order. So it's a pretty smooth process. We've been doing that for the F-150 Lightnings for a bunch of those, as well as the Mach-E's. Pretty simple process. So we'll see. With them doing it on the Bronco Sport, who knows what other vehicles they'll start to do it on. Bronco? Who knows? All right. Also, just got a couple more dealer news updates. These 3 came in today. So the Transit Connect for U.S. and Canadian markets is going away.
Good.
It's going away.
Bring back the Flex and add sliding doors.
So, no. All right, so here's a summary. It says, in combination with our efforts to reduce global marketing costs and complexity, alongside decreased demand for the compact van segment, Ford Motor Company has made the decision to end importing Transit Connect cargo and passenger vans to the U.S. and Canadian markets at the conclusion of this model year. So there will not be a 2024 in the U.S. or Canada. So there you go.
I had one.
So if you want to get one, you better hurry.
I had one.
And good luck trying to get it scheduled.
They aren't that great. I mean, it's a van.
Yeah.
But it's 4, you get 4 seats in the back instead of, 3 in that back bench, and it's boxy. And
Yep.
I felt like every time the wind blew, I was going to get blown over. I did not like it. Mark sheet, it's nice. They work.
Yeah.
But it's I felt like I was getting blown over every time I made a turn, and ice was terrible. I got into my Maverick, and I was just there.
Yeah, it's Ford trying to get into the minivan without making it look like a minivan. But, yeah. Anyway,
I guess if I want a minivan, I have to go with someone else.
there's some good companies out there
Yeah,
if you want one. All right.
I'm good.
So here's a couple of updates to the Explorer. 23 Explorer is getting the auto start stop reintroduced again. We did hear about that on the F-150 last week. Now it's going to happen to the Explorer. So on April 5th, 2023, they need to update this because this bulletin says 2022. That's kind of funny. Oh, no, it's actually saying last April. Never mind. I'll reread it. So last April, a year ago, April 5th, we issued a communication to inform that auto start-stop removal option would be forced on all 2022 Explorers, which transitioned to 23, right? Now, effective starting June 5th of 23, and thereafter production, the auto start-stop feature will be reinstated and built on all 23 fleet stock and retail 2.3 liter Explorers. So not all of them, the 2.3 liter. So there you go. It says all current unscheduled orders will be spec'd to remove the auto start-stop removal option, 52X, and we'll have the auto start-stop feature instead, which is standard. Equipment. So then that option will be removed off the order guides as well. So if you're in production, it may get switched over to you. It depends on if you have a production date after that date, June 5th, then it'll have the auto start stop on there. So also on the 23 Explorer, they're doing early balance out, and again that just kind of means they want to finish out their production for this for exterior paints, Jewel Red and Atlas Blue. So effective July 1st, 23, Jewel Red, order code C9, and Atlas Blue, which is B3, will no longer be produced on 23 Explorers, 23 model year Explorers, I should say, and existing orders with those colors will be scheduled for production prior to this date. So if there are orders in there, they're going to try to make sure they schedule those first in there and get those scheduled out. So if you want to get scheduled quickly, pick one of those 2 colors. You can get scheduled, but all of our retail's already scheduled, so it's not like that's complicated there. It says say starting April 20th, order code C9 and B3 will be restricted from all future ordering. So production's going to stop July 1st, and scheduling April 20th. So you have about a month to get those in there. So there you go. That is the dealer news for this week.
All right.
I feel like I should have that little da-da-da-da, like the evening news. Anyway. Okay. All right. We ready to move on?
Yes.
Recalls. Okay, just a couple of recalls in here and some updates to some recalls. So this first one is recall 23S16 on the 2020 to 2022 Explorers with the rear axle bolt fractures. The only thing, this was actually updated. There's a new supplement guide that was given, supplement 4. And by the way, this only affects 842 explorers. So it's a very small run there where it affected them. So now they're basically they updated and said the letters are going out to customers April 3rd, the week of April 3rd. So next week letters should go out and just say to dealers, reminding them to make sure if the vehicles come in, go ahead and fix them, basically. So this other one, I only have 2 here. The other one is an advance notice for recall 23C09. So typically advance recalls come out and letting dealers know it's happening. Letters don't go out to customers yet. That's when we get the final the actual dealer news bulletin and such. Then we get it later, but this is giving them advance notice of this. So certain 23 model year Edge and non-list vehicles, the second row 60% seat back frame replacement. So this only affects Edge and non-lists that for the 23 model year that were built on February 24th. So only one day, and it only affects 20 vehicles. So there you go. But it is for the seat back, so you want to make sure that recall gets done. It says all of the affected vehicles may not confirm. Seat back assemblies with suspect child seat tether wire welds may experience degradation and tether anchorage load carrying capacity. The child seat tether will, with a reduced load carrying capacity, can increase the risk of injury in a crash. So we definitely, definitely if you have one of those. It's only 20 vehicles were affected by this, but it's a pretty serious one. They did say that dealer bulletins will come out second quarter to give you information on parts and such like that. And then once they can get parts, then they'll notify the customers. So with notifications. So there we go. Just a couple of them there. Like I said, if we keep updated on these, then it won't be too many. There were some other updates and some recalls on some older vehicles. I didn't include those, but there you go. All right. Next, is it true? All right. So this week, someone tagged me on Maverick Truck Club, so I appreciate that. So if you are on one of those forums and you see something, you're like, that doesn't sound right. I don't know about that. You think this might be good for Tim, tag me. I'm at Ford Video Guy. Sarah is at Sarah Davis on those, whatever they are. And someone tagged me on this one on the Maverick Truck Club. So their dealer told them that 24 model year Maverick order banks will open up July 17th, not just sometime in the summer. They said July 17th. And I don't believe this is true. We haven't been notified of anything like this. And usually I can look and see when the last day of production is and kind of go back about 2 months prior to that. So let's look at last year, 2022 model year as an example. So they produced the 2022 model year Maverick through November 22nd or 23rd, I believe. I think November 23rd. And they took orders in September. So November being the 11th month, September being the 9th month, that's 2 months in advance. So they started taking orders September 15th, which is about 2 months before the last day they produced the model. We know that they have given us dates on that. That it looks like they're going to produce into the middle of October. So go back 2 months, probably going to be August, not July. But it is getting close. So some people are saying, hey, if I haven't been scheduled by then I probably need to put in an order for 24. Yes, your dealership needs to probably do that because those orders won't be carried over. They will need to be put in as new orders, just like they have been with the Bronco. Well, not Bronco carried over, but the Super Duty was done that way and some other models. So you'll want to make sure you do that. Escape was the same way. So you'll want to make sure you do that. But we still have some time, plenty of time. They are going to ramp up production this summer as well. So let's cross our fingers and hope for the best there. So, but all right. So that's it. Is it true? So if you have an is it true, something out there, whether it be on Facebook or something, make sure you tag me, email it to me or something so we have some fun stuff on that. So there you go. And I had one for this week, but I don't know all the facts about it, so I didn't include that. So, but there you go. All right. Now let's talk about the topic or what's on my mind tonight.
On my mind.
Bronco's on my mind because the order banks did open up yesterday. There are some people that put in orders. I thought we'd maybe talk a little bit about, the orders that were put in, some things we learned from, what we have put in for orders, which we're only a minute portion of the entire country, but it kind of gives us a possible idea of some things. Also, for those that put in an order, now what? Now what happens? Now you wait, basically. I shouldn't have done that when you were drinking. But now you wait, basically. So you have the order in. You need to get scheduled. They're not scheduling this week, so come back every week. And we'll tell you if Bronco is scheduling, what models are scheduling for what weeks and such, so then you can keep updated on whether or not yours could be scheduled that week. So sometimes, like we talked about, Bronco Raptor's not scheduling entire next month, right? I think that I had that right. And so you want to come back and see, because there might be some constraints. There might be some things that you might have on your order, and we may come back and say, okay, Ford's saying, like last year, the tow capacity. They said, hey, if you have that on there, you're less likely to get scheduled. So we had people taking that off. So come back so we can keep you updated on those types of constraints. Just so you're aware of that. So I actually skipped through the Bronco earlier, so let me try to find it, because on all those notes, here they are, because I wanted to cover it here of some of the things that you need to keep in mind on the Bronco.
So while you're pulling those up, can Ford delete a Bronco order
No.
if it has
Well,
constraints?
No. They can, if they warn dealers that if you didn't COVP your order and it's in Priority 99, they were going to cancel those orders. So if you have a Priority 99 order, there could be a possibility of getting canceled. But because of a constraint, no.
Nope.
That is not true. So
Now they could just not build it, but they won't cancel the order.
No, it'll just stay in there. I mean, we had orders. I mean, it just stayed in there. So if an order is canceled and not in there, either the dealership didn't order it or the dealer canceled it. Something like that. So, all right. So let's talk about Bronco for a second. So, according to this is for June production dates, right? That they're going to be scheduling for next month. Here's some of the percentages. They actually gave us percentages that are different than what's in here. So I don't know if this is just a month and that was just for a year, or for the rest of the year. But the biggest thing, hardtop is only going to get produced. This says 67% in here. They actually had a lower number that they gave us, which said 36%. So they said, here's your number of how many allocations you're going to have. Here's what you need to not take more than this many orders. And so this is a guide that they gave us. It says Ford National Constraint Guide. So hopefully I don't get mad, but this is proprietary information. But it's information that I think we need to look at. So they're saying hardtop. This includes the molded in hardtop as well as the white painted Heritage editions. So any of those, or if you have the dual top, it's saying 67% here. So I guess we'll wait and see, like when we get scheduled in that first month, or the first week next month, we'll have to be able to see, okay, we had 6 allocations, we had this many hardtops, so we'll be able to know, hey, that aligns up with this, or it lines up with what they're telling us to stick to. So, that's why we went ahead and took orders, not really based on the constraints. We just took those orders and placed those orders, because it's, like I said, it's really hard. We had, I think, 3 managers putting in orders for the Broncos so we can get them put in there. And so again, like I mentioned in a video that I did, it's kind of hard to say, hey, how many hardtop orders do you have? Oh, sorry, this one we'll put in the system. And we didn't do that. Some dealers did. They said, hey, we're done. We're only going to be able to schedule so many hardtops, and that's one over. Yeah. We went ahead because you never know if that order gets looked over of the other, because there could have been 20 orders in the number, and maybe you get 20, and then that 20th order could be a Lux package. It also could be Sasquatch. You could have, it could be a Wild Track. It could be all these things. So that 21st order could get scheduled instead of that 20th because of how you configured yours. So again, like I always say, the more of those constraint items you have on your order, the harder it's going to be for it to get scheduled. So the lower you can keep that to, the better. And I always say, you can get what you want as long as you're willing to wait. If you're in a dire need for a vehicle, ordering is not probably the thing for you. All right, 2-door, they're actually saying it's 15% in here, and Ford was telling us 10% on that number. So again, we'll have to wait and see. next month. And again, this just could be for 1 month, whereas the number they gave us is for the rest of the year. So keep that in mind. So they may, hey, this next month we're gonna be able to schedule this, but for July we can't schedule those numbers. So it could be that the numbers they're giving us is for the year on the average, right? So I want to make sure that I clarify that and make sure people know that. 2.7 liter, 65% of the number. So there you go. Make sure I line this up. They are saying for Wild Track that it's 23% for next month, and they told us 18%. So we'll see. And again, that's probably for the year. Sasquatch is showing 42% in here, but they told us 50%, which is about half of them. The modular front bumper, if you ordered that, is 36%. The trailer tow is 40%, so that is not really constraint much anymore. They're usually well below that. The Lux package, in here it's saying 36%. They're not allowing it for any stock orders. Paint protection, 5%. So, yeah, please don't put that on yours. And that's only available on the Wild Track anyway. And I think that's probably just to help protect the graphics and such, maybe. I don't know. Everglades, not available to order. Badlands, optional. Wheel, not available to order. Base is not available to order. Manual transmission, not available to order as well. Also, the cloth seats on the Outer Banks and Wild Track, not available to order either. So they're saying Raptor is 6%, which is good to have that number. They're saying Heritage Edition, both 2-door and 4-door, is 2%. So there's a number for that. And then Outer Banks with the cloth seats. They have a percentage in here for the Outer Banks and Wild Track for cloth seats because there are still some orders in the order banks that maybe haven't been scheduled yet. So that's why you see 12% and 13% for those. There you go. So that's all those. So at this point, you just want to keep looking and seeing if you have constraint items on your order and that kind of thing, and try to eliminate some of those. Paint protection especially, DIYs, DIOs, some of those. DIOs shouldn't be too bad because basically those are shipped to the dealer, so Ford doesn't have to assemble them. So usually that isn't usually an issue there. But one of the things we noticed is about half of our orders that were put in were 2-doors. And only 10% is their capacity. So we're probably going to have a lot of 2-door orders that are going to get carried into 24, which we'll put in as a 24 order. They won't get carried over per se. So, I mean, you'll need to, we'll be having those conversations with our customers as we wait a couple of weeks, months, and see how things go down. Because we may get more allocations because we get a bunch of Broncos in and sell. It's the sales of your nation and such. And they also said one of the things that's going to impact allocation, especially early on, is how many orders you have on the ground, stock orders for the dealer. And we have 0. So all of ours have been sold. We don't have any new Broncos on our lot. So that's going to help us achieve all those. If we have dealers like other dealers within our region that have vehicles in their inventory, then they're not going to get their allocations right away until they sell down their inventory. So what's going to happen? Well, that month we may actually get more allocations than we normally would because we have sold down our inventory to nothing. So, and basically what they're saying is, hey, you have inventory there to sell to your customers right now. We're going to give these dealerships their allocation so they can sell their inventory, which an ordered vehicle or a stock vehicle is still inventory to sell. So, which might bring up another point is some people might say, why are dealers able to order stock vehicles? Well, it's because, like for us, if we have 50% of them are 2-doors, then we're going to have, we have like 2 orders that have cloth top. The rest of them are all hard top. And so Ford's going to say, we're going to have like so many allocations, and they'll schedule that first week, and we'll have we won't use all of our allocations. Come the next week, if we have an order that is available, they'll schedule those. But if not, then they won't schedule any, and we'll get left. And we will lose those allocations if we don't get something scheduled. And so they're going to say, we need some cloth tops orders. If you don't have any, those allocations you may lose those. Sometimes we've seen in the past where those will get carried over, but not typically in that situation like that. If it's a situation where they can't schedule them out because of a different reason, but if it's because you don't have orders, sometimes you lose those. So you definitely don't want to lose those allocations. You want to make sure they all get scheduled each month. and so you can get those new allocations. So you're going to probably see some of that happen. So, cloth top, if you have a hard top on your order, really think about going cloth top if you can, because just it'll help yours get scheduled. I can almost guarantee that if you have a cloth top order, unless you have Lux and Sasquatch with it, you'll probably get scheduled. Especially if you're a non-wild track and you have cloth top, I can almost guarantee you're probably going to get scheduled in the first couple months.
Yeah.
All of those orders were put in the first day, so that's probably what's going to happen. So, so there you go. So,
Kevin, we don't have Ridgeview in here right now. He said he might drop in here in a little bit, but he is not in here tonight with us.
All right.
We have Niles here.
Yep. I think I've rambled on enough about that. We can, of course, if you have any questions about that, we can answer those. Put them in the
Heritage 2%. Will that mean that they will only build 2%
That means
heritages?
that's their mix. Is that about 2% of what they build in a month will be 2% of them will be the heritage editions. 18, what they tell us, 18% is going to be wild track, but yet that one there, which was supposed to be capacity for this month, or next month, is supposed to be for June production is supposed to be 23%. So the numbers can fluctuate each month for what they're wanting to do and achieve there. So let's go ahead. We're going to go to the questions now.
All right.
Since I made those go to 3 seconds, I can't take a drink that fast. But there we go. So let's go ahead and get in the questions. Again, if you have a question, put it in the question box. We'll get to those. I'll kind of watch in here, but let's try to throw those in the question box so we can do those in the way that they were received.
So if you've posted a question in the chat, you might try and post it in the question box, unless you've already posted it there. Then don't repost it.
We're going to get those right now.
Yes. Mike McKenzie, I'm not sure what you mean by how about my Maverick? Is it with us? Is it somewhere else?
He's probably wondered. So again, all the orders were put in at one time. They were put in the way you wanted it configured. Ford schedules those. We don't know their algorithm. We don't know their thought. We know that priority is the first thing that's looked at. Order date is a lot of times the second thing to look at, and then third is a configuration. So you gotta look at that. Also, within dealers' allocations. So each month, a dealer gets so many allocations. Like last month we received 18 allocations. So that's how they're going to be scheduling those out, is based on dealer allocations. So we can't get, of course, all of our 600 scheduled out right away. We're going to get them in chunks, and we should see those numbers go up as we see them ramp up production. They said that their plan is to, I think, add a third shift this summer, third quarter maybe, and so hopefully we see that production ramp up. So we might see some of those orders get moved, have to be put in as 24s, but if they start ramping production up in third quarter, then that means when they go to the beginning of 24 model year, they're going to be ready to go full steam, and we'll see production for the entire full year of 24 hopefully be a much bigger number. So there you go.
Specs, if you haven't received your new member package, then send me an email with your information. I'm pretty sure I have your information, though. Well, and then there's a member email that you can send it to as well.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I have your information, or I gave you your things when you came to our member meetup, Maverick meetup.
Yeah, we basically sent a notebook, some pens, and a couple of koozies, right?
Yes.
So that's our welcome packet. So
Yes. All right. Ordered a 4-door Heritage with Derek yesterday. However, I never got an email from Ford. Should I be worried? Hearing 2% doesn't give me insurance. So you should have received that email right away confirming that your order had been submitted to Ford. If not,
it could
check
be an
the email.
He actually, today I was a little busy. He actually got with me and said he wanted to check on that. We can also have our person that puts them in to contact Ford.
Yes.
But it could be that he said he didn't receive his either. So when we put in orders, you put it in the customer's email address and a dealership's email address, and we always put the salesperson in there. And so he said he didn't receive one either on it.
Yeah.
So it's not that the order's not in there, because I input actually all of his orders for him. And so I know that the order's in there. So it's probably just that for some reason that email didn't go out from Ford. So
Well, Specs, I'll get you a koozie. Shane, if you do not have the badge, you might be logged into a different account. So try logging in with a different email, or it may not be charging your card each month. We have seen people drop off as members and jump back on once they realize that they are no longer a member. It does charge you $4.99 a month. So
Yeah, we'll get. He probably was a member before we started doing the koozies, because we did the koozies later. So.
He became a member about the Maverick meetup time, and I don't think we were doing koozies just yet.
Yeah, so we'll get that. We'll get you koozies if you didn't get one.
All right.
All right.
When will Escape get delivered? It's basically April, so Ford had better hurry up.
Yes. So the okay to buy is they said to be determined. So we don't know when the okay to buy will be.
So
but
Escape is worse than the Super Duty.
Yeah, Super Duty's just started coming out. Started being released. We actually got a couple already, so I think we've sold 2 now. So yeah.
That's not how you spell emoji. And then specs.
Yep.
If I don't write this down, I will forget.
Yeah. So we'll get it down. Okay.
Okay. Yes, you have been. You are a blue can koozies. I don't know how you spell it. Cozies? Koozies. Either way. Any idea when Ford updates the customer order tracking program?
I mean, updates the Ford tracking. Oh, I think it's daily. I don't know. I mean, yeah, and like we can actually look at VinView, and it's if it's on a rail, we actually can see it in many places across. So, yep. VinView is almost like whenever, like, if it's on a rail, it'll actually have several spots. We actually would see, like, hey, 2 hours ago it went right by, us down here by McPherson, and that kind of thing. But then once it's actually hits, like they get it off of a rail and into a rail yard, it'll actually trigger a spot. So within that section is when it gets updated. I mean, so it can update it a bunch of times.
All right. Is COVP only needed for the Mustang? I ordered a 23 Edge. Does that need to be COVP by my dealer?
Okay, so some of the vehicles they're starting to require it. So any of the high demand vehicles, they're saying yes, we want to require COVP, Bronco, Mustang, and that kind of thing. Some of the vehicles like the Edge, those are all taken out of dealer allocation, and there's really not that many retail orders for those. So it's not something that if you don't COVP, it doesn't mean you won't get scheduled. We actually had one that got scheduled and we didn't COVP it. We missed it. In fact, one of the sales guys was like, I didn't get his COVP. He never signed his paperwork, but it got scheduled. So scheduling doesn't always happen because of COVP, but Ford likes to have it because then they can kind of see if there's dealers doing things the wrong way. So they handle it by a case-by-case situation, and sometimes they want to make sure dealers are being honest and such. So there you
go. All right. Brandon Jones. Just as a clarification, do we expect Maverick retail open? We went over that. I wanted to email when they're going to open. I wanted to email Tim about getting some information about getting my name on a list.
Yeah, we probably need to start making a list. I hate making a list too far out.
Yeah.
Because last year we made a list and we had like 50 people that never. I mean, once we could start getting ready to start taking orders, then we emailed those people out and they never emailed me back. So things can change in a couple months. So that's why we hate getting that list too far out. Mm-hmm. But we know some people want to be on that list and be first and such. And we know that getting on that list, sometimes it doesn't always necessarily mean that you get first. We put you on that list, and when those come in, we give them to salespeople, and then they take their orders to a sales manager. And like I said, we have 4 managers putting in orders with 18 sales guys, so kind of round robins around them.
Not only that, we may have rollovers.
Yes, we will have rollovers, but those will have different priority. Like we'll do the same this year, where we'll put in all the new orders as 15s and all the rollovers as 10s, like we did last year, or depending on the dates and such. But
all right. I ordered my Bronco yesterday with some no-nos. 4-door well truck, hardtop, high package, and a P18. I don't expect it to be built. Is there a chance?
So your priority code only matters within your dealership. So if your dealer puts all their orders in as 18s, then you're fine. Now, your wild track, did you say hardtop, right? But high package, it was smart going high package instead of Lux package can help you out. So you'll just have to see. But again, you'll have to talk to your dealer about what priority code. Like all of ours are 10s right now.
Yeah.
So, and we had three orders that hadn't got scheduled before we started taking orders, and they are 10s along with the others. But at that point, those dates are like long before the others. Like I said, Ford first looks at priority, then they look at date, and then they look at configuration. So those 3 orders should be looked at first.
Yeah.
So,
For COVP, you will need driver's license and address, which your address is on your driver's license, and then they will need your signature on the deal. We have a blue sheet, so an order sheet, and then
typically a buyer's order.
a buyer's order. That's what it is, yes. So then you'll need to get that back to them. You do not sign the DORA as part of your COVP.
Mm-mm.
Now, all dealers give their DORAs to their customers.
Correct.
We do. I mean, Tim and I do.
If you request
but
it.
Most of our salesmen are like, wait, they're asking for the DORA. Are we allowed to give that? So it is allowed to be given, but it's up to the discretion of the dealership.
Yep.
So, but you don't need to sign it for COVP. So you're good on, signing that and whatnot.
Yeah. Ford, there's certain things Ford requires to put in. I actually don't know if the buyer's order is required. We just know that we have no issues if we include those in there.
Yeah.
So, and they have to be legible. They have to be not be blurry. Good copies, good signatures. You want to make sure your addresses match. If the address they put in, a lot of times if that driver's license has a different address than what your order is on your order sheet, they will probably not approve that COVP.
Yeah.
So.
Price protection is good until you switch over to a new model year.
So, whatever price it was yesterday is the price you're locked into for this model year.
Yes.
So, if your order goes into 24 or it doesn't get scheduled and you have to put a new order in for 24, Ford is not going to price protect. It's going to be whatever it is when you put that 24 model.
So if you ordered when 23 order banks opened, your price protection is good until your vehicle comes in or until it gets rolled over to a 24, and at that point you have to start over.
And again, that's according to Ford's rules.
Yes. not the
Dealers
dealer.
sometimes place a different rules and say, no, you're not price protected. We don't price protect these. Ford doesn't price protect. I mean, again, it's a negotiation tactic for some dealers. So you just got to make sure that your dealer's being honest with you.
All right. On to the questions. How are they handling leftover Broncos orders, and do you think they'll get them done? Two-door Heritage, how many are left to schedule?
So at this point, there's no leftover. It's unscheduled orders that are in the order bank. So every order is going to be looked at. I mean, you have some so they had, a set number of orders that were still in there when they started taking orders yesterday. So now those orders from yesterday are getting looked at just along with all the others. Like I said, though, priority is one thing, and then the order date's another. So those people that had an unscheduled order that are in the order bank, like we had 3 that carried over, those 3 orders will be looked at first for that same configuration. So we won't see somebody, like we have one customer, in fact, he's a member, that has a wild track order. The week before, we have 2 wild track orders left. One out of the 2 got scheduled. The first one that got scheduled, his order was older than our member's order. But that member's order now is the oldest one. So for Wild Track, it'll be looked at before the other Wild Track orders that we have. So that's usually how that'll work. So even though there's new orders in the order system and your order's in there and it didn't schedule and it was put in back in September or even last year, a year ago, that's still going to be looked at for that same thing. So within that dealership, another one that was built exactly like yours should not get built before yours if you're still left over.
All right. We cannot look at other dealerships' orders. We can't look them up, unfortunately.
Nope.
Because that's their order.
We can only look up orders that are ordered by us or shipped to us.
Yeah.
So if
Now,
they're drop ship, we can.
If
drop
you
shipped
had
here.
an ETA of $325, so it's supposed to be at your dealership, your dealer has no control over that. And if it gets stuck at a rail yard or stuck on the rail or stuck somewhere, there's nothing they can do. There's usually no reason as to why it's sitting there. So you kind of just have to wait for it to get there.
Yeah.
Because you said my F-150, can you tell me why my F-150 got delayed 2 weeks ago? I had an ETA, $325, how the dealer told me it's delayed, not saying why.
Because there's a lot of F-150s coming out of Dearborn. That's why. I mean, to be honest, we have Lightnings coming out of there. You have, you got a lot of them coming off those rail yards there. So it's just taking a long time.
And that ETA is not a solid ETA. It can change. His expedition was supposed to be here one day, but it took 4 months instead.
Yeah.
We've seen someone take 6 months. So
well, we had a member that theirs showed up today, the 28th, and his ETA was the 26th.
Yes.
That's only 2 days late.
But then we had someone whose ETA was the 27th, and it showed up on the 26th. So
all those expeditions that came in recently, so those were supposed to be here next month, not this month. So you never know.
So it's a toss up. We don't know why it gets delayed. Your dealer can't really let you know.
There you go.
RagnarCon, no.
Should have done a
drop ship to us.
I'd look it up though.
Yeah.
You can change it now. Oh wait, he already got his.
He's a member, so if it's drop shipped to us, then we just add it to the sheet and we update you.
And then even though you buy it from your other dealer, you come pick it up here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right. Can you confirm that the 2023 F-150 XLT black appearance package with the 5 V8 or 5 liter?
He must be doing.
Oh yeah.
Talking.
Comes with dual exhaust?
Yes. I had to think that for a second, but yes, it should come with dual exhaust and a different hood. It looks really cool. So it's the same hood that they put on the trimmers. It looks like so.
Yeah. Does it make sense to add wheels and all-terrain off-road tires after taking delivery of a Bronco? If you want.
I did it.
You did it.
Of course, I added a whole Roush package with it, but that was my plan because I knew I wasn't going to keep to the 32-inch tires. Just didn't look right on the Big Bend, so I knew I was going to get some 35 KO2s put on it and some different wheels. Yep.
All right.
And it would probably help you get it faster.
Ready? Any advice on what specifically I should say to my dealer to get them to honor my price protection and plan pricing together on my Maverick? They told me I can do one or the other, but not both.
Tell them that that's not true. If you need help, email me. I have the graphic that shows that it's here. Let me just do this for you.
Just keep this timestamp. Just take a screenshot of the time right now.
Hold on.
Well, screenshot of the time right now will work. Or note the time right now. Because we're going to have that graphic here in a second. The Dark Horse, we do have a $30,000 markup.
Yeah, I think all of our 5 allocations that we're getting are all gone. I don't know. Yep.
So, yeah. Raptor. What's the Raptor markup? Bronco Raptor.
Bronco, I think we're around 10 to 15 right now.
Okay.
But that's always subject to change. I mean, we just repriced all of our F-150 Raptors.
Someone said that they, someone said that they saw some around them for 20 to 25 over.
I think we're at 50. We try to stay within what the market value is.
Okay.
It is a business. We do most of our regular vehicles at MSRP, but some of those specialty builds, we are going to be what market value is. Especially when you only get a limited number, like we're getting 5 Dark Horse and basically a 2-year production run, 18 months. That's pretty close to 2-year production run. We're only getting 5. We normally get a lot more than that. That's definitely something. Okay, here we go. I got the. Let's get this.
Okay. Anthony, we decided we're going to do what is it called, a cruise down the river for our member meetup in New York next week on the 6th. And I do have you down that you wanted to meet up with us, so I will email you with more information.
All right, so there's the information, and yeah, definitely put it over our face so we don't want to see it. But there you go. So that is, and again, it's proprietary information. But Ford, you have dealers out there not honoring this, so Ford gets upset. Well, this is why we do this. So price protection, basically, it says right there, price protection protects vehicle price if there is price actions taken within the model year. Private offer is a model year transition offer. Are offers for customers who had an order that went unscheduled in the current model year. So if you had a 22 order that went unscheduled, you are due a private offer. You had to put in a 23 order. Let's say there's a price increase within the model year. This is happening on Lightning. Now it's happening on Bronco. It's happening on Maverick. You get both. So you're going to have a private offer that is due you. On the Maverick, for instance, it's either $1,750 or $2,750 if you had a hybrid. And you're going to also have a price protection of the $500 price increase that happened February 1st. So you're getting both of those. So how the dealer gets those, the private offer, which is on the right side here, will be in the Smart Vincent, and that's where they'll see that. The price protection is not something you visibly see. You just have to adjust your pricing to that price increase. So what I always recommend to people is you need to just go off of your order sheet from when they ordered. So I have sales guys do that. They're like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? I says, well, pull your door out when they order the vehicle. That is the price that they get, not what they have, what it is off the invoice. So you have to adjust that. If they make changes within the model year, you just have to adjust that. So like on the Maverick, all the trims went up $400 and the destination charge went up $100. I said, so all you have to do is take that invoice, subtract the $500, and you're there. Right? If there's a price increase on something else, you have to adjust it that way. And Ford will reimburse the dealer. It just takes 30 to 45 days for them to see it. So they're just going to have to carry that for that long. You're going to have, and here's the deal, for our sales staff, we actually adjust that price protection, and we put it on we make an account and credit it, so they still get paid on that price increase. So they don't lose money, because other dealers probably like, okay, well, we have to lower it $500, so that's they're $500 of your front end gross. So what salesman's going to want to do that? If they're doing that, they're going to say no. They go out there and tell the customer we don't honor the price protection because they want their gross, right? So you got to fight for it. But so the other way of doing it is what we do is we have a credit on there that we say this is a price protection. We go ahead and adjust it $500, and so then when they get paid with that adjustment already in there. When we get the money, we reconcile in accounts and accounting. So that's kind of how we do that. So there you go. So all right. I think she had to go to the restroom. So, but yes, pricing. I'll try to talk while she's there. So you can get both if there's been a price increase within that model year and you had an order last year. So you should get both. And again, that private offers are based on COVP approvals. So in a lot of those orders, that's one of the reasons why on the Bronco they made sure people knew, and the dealers were like, you need a COVP all your orders, because that's how they're able to track that special private offer that they should have received. And so they want to make sure that those customers can get that private offer, and that has to be done to get it. There are some Maverick customers that didn't get theirs because their dealer did not do the COVP. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, not sure what one she's on. Oh, so there we go. If I order 2 Broncos, because YOLO will my orders be canned. 2 different dealers. I think it's 2 different dealers. Is that right? In 2 different states. No, Ford doesn't. They don't look at it that way. They just see these orders. They won't say, hey, you're not going to get yours because you have one already with another dealer. You could actually get both of them scheduled the same week, and that's a possibility. So And there are some people that they mentioned in some of the groups is that, hey, we have people putting orders in with different dealers because they don't know, hey, for one, if, this is a bigger dealer, they get more allocations, and you go with another dealer, maybe it's a smaller dealer. Well, you do also know, like within us, half of our orders were 2-doors. Well, you may have this other dealership over here that took 10 orders and maybe only one person ordered a 2-door. You got a better chance at getting one at that dealer, that smaller dealer, because they didn't have as many of the 2-door orders at that dealership. So every dealer's orders and ratios are going to be different. So it is difficult. So there you go. So I just did that one there about the 2 Broncos.
Okay. Any update on 350 XLT trimmers? Has any been delivered yet? My dealer changed priority from 19 to 11, but still no schedule date. Just a basic XLT trimmer with 430 gears options, all supposed to be job 1.
We haven't seen any arrive yet. So everything that we've had arrive have been XLTs, pretty plain Jane trucks. We haven't seen any trimmers yet.
Yeah. All right.
But again, trimmer, what's a percentage? It's like 5%.
Yeah.
So that it's probably going to take longer if you usually get scheduled.
Yeah. All right. I've ordered a 23 Maverick Hybrid with co-pilot and the hitch. I haven't heard anything from my dealer. Should I be worried? Priority code 19, wondering how much longer it'll take, and then he says, "I'm sorry. I should have also added that I'm in Arizona, and my Maverick is an XL hybrid. Hope that I'm the first stop in Mexico, so it should come sooner later than right."
Okay. Well, we don't know how long it'll take. If your dealer put all their orders in as Friday 19s, then you get then you're not losing, because the orders can be put in as priority 10 to 19, anywhere in there, 10, 11, 12, all on up. So if everybody at your dealership are all in as 19s, then you all are even there, so it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Depends on what date you ordered yours. Being an XL hybrid does affect it, because like only 15% is their capacity on XL. So that could make it a little bit harder to get scheduled.
All right. I knew who that was. Mike. All right. Will we be able to add 355 gears to the FX4 Super Duty?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. You probably asked that before. I covered
Probably.
that. But the brand manager said yes. I haven't received any emails yet. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't get it while we were on here. But they usually don't work after 5. But they told us, I sent an email about the onboard scales and they said both of those are supposed to be options available. Onboard scales are available now to order on the Lariat. They're standard on the upper trims from there. The 355 with the FX4 is supposed to also be available, and we're not showing that it is. So, and the order guide doesn't mention that it can't be. So we just don't know when we'll be able to do that, see that. So.
All right. Z, you asked about your order T07B. Any speculation on when it might be scheduled? Only constraint you listed was the tow hitch.
Yeah, you're a member order.
Yeah, you should be.
So we'll talk about it Friday. I mean, check
check
our
out the membership tab. We do a live for the members every Friday and we update you. So go ahead and check in there.
Should be pretty soon though, because yours was put in pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of this month was the first time we saw any new orders scheduled, and a lot of those were like trimmers. And since you didn't order trimmer, they didn't get those looked at. But next month could be your month, so we'll just have to see.
Yep. All right. I have a 23 Escape with moonroof order in production. It's actually been in production since February 17th. Am I impacted by the moonroof shortage?
There it is. Yes. So you have. Oh wait, yours is in production. You're good. So they won't schedule any now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people that have an unscheduled order that's going to have a problem. So, yeah. So there you go. So you should be good as long as you're in production. You might see yours get moved back though. So it could be a possibility that it could move back into July. So just have to keep us updated on that. I'm kind of curious.
Yep. Is it time to ditch the Lux package on hybrid, or is it time to ditch the hybrid?
You probably more like, well, the hybrid numbers went up. We just talked about that from 35 to 40%. So that's a little bit different number there for you. So, I don't know at this point.
Yep.
You might have to. I mean, you go EcoBoost, I can almost guarantee you're probably more likely to get scheduled if you do go EcoBoost at this point. But with us, not probably yet. That we are seeing like last month, all of the hybrids that we had that got scheduled out of the 18. We had 6 out of 18 and got scheduled. The hybrids, they were all our orders that hadn't been scheduled yet. All of the new orders were EcoBoost.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Marcia R., if it didn't work, you might try it. So on the Maverick, you have to have the truck on.
Yes.
To use that bed outlet. So you might.
Mm-hmm. You have to have it on.
If you didn't have it on, try that. Because she said she tried to use a circle saw and it didn't work.
That may be too much for that plug. Because
Okay.
that's a 400 watt, and so that might be a little too much power for that plug.
Okay. So maybe a small baby circle saw.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You might, but yeah, you do have to have it turned on. So.
Yep. All right. How long does it take to finish pre-delivery once a vehicle arrives at your dealership? I'm trying to see if I can make it. So Mark Shee, your vehicle is here. Should get set up here in the next day or two, but if you are planning to pick it up quickly, we can certainly get it rushed and try and get it ready for you. We will talk to MJ about that, but if you want to start paperwork now, you certainly can. You can get pretty much everything done before you get here, so you just show up, pick up the vehicle, and go. So we can do as little or as much or as little as you want online, so that way it's ready to go. So you can start tomorrow morning. Call MJ, and they'll get you going.
Yeah, and usually, he can only do so many a day, and if we get it, we just got like a bunch of big truckloads, so it just depends. But the paperwork, like she said, can get done while they're doing that.
Yep. So, all right.
I was going to warn MJ that I was going to let you know tonight, because I didn't even get it. I got the sheet like at 5 o'clock. So she was passing the sheets out from the deliveries from the day, and we didn't get the sheets until 5 o'clock that it was here. So that's when I went out and took the photos. You can see it was starting to go, sun was kind of going down a little bit. But
yeah. So, all right. Do you think Ford would offer manual transmission on the Bronco for 24?
Yeah, I think so. So I actually do have a little memo in here. I didn't share it earlier. I forgot to. I did ask, so I was going to pull this up earlier, and I didn't. So this here, there you go. So I was actually going to pull this up because I went in here and oh, they actually just changed this. They just changed their website on us. Bronco. Oh. Shop. Build and price. Oh, they just updated the website this afternoon. All right. So you go to Bronco, 23 Bronco, and you'll see base is on here, and it does say base is unavailable to order. Contact your dealer for available inventory. So then I went I looked over, and I'm like, you notice what's missing though? Wild Track. Wild Track's missing. So I like, well, wait a minute, does that mean, Everglades, not Wild Track. Everglades is missing over here. So I'm like, well, does that mean that they're not going to do the Everglades next year? So I didn't want to start a conspiracy or anything, but I did. And Ford will never comment on future product offerings. I was like,
yeah.
I'm sure you probably can't want this. And so he did say that was where he started. He says, I can't talk about future model year product offerings. But he did say that he can share this, and it was basically a script from memos that went out, and they says, with the launch of the all-new Ranger underway in the plant, including the new Ranger Raptor, we've made some temporary manufacturing changes to maximize commonality on the assembly line to ensure we have a quality launch of the new Ranger while getting Broncos to existing reservation order holders. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to temporarily, it does say temporarily, not offer the base or Everglades series or manual transmission for the remainder of 24 model year. So again, they won't confirm anything for 24, and of course I was speculating there, but it does sound like that we'll probably see it in 24. I guess we'll just have to see.
All right.
We really don't know. I'd assume, that that's not something they would just get rid of. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Base and Everglades, I don't know. And I did ask that. I says, hey, well, on the website, going back to that, I said, so why is the base there but the Everglades is not? And they said that this here, it impacts the shopping for a vehicle and inventory. So they said because Everglade can become off of here because inventory within dealers' lots are small enough and low enough that it can be pulled off of there. But whereas on the base trim, there's still several base vehicles on dealers' lots and in their inventory. So that is why it is still there. So you don't know if you know this, but you can actually shop and search inventory at dealers' lots and such, and you can shop for that. So you can go to the Bronco and see what's, find at a dealer. You can search inventory. Well, if there's too many, a certain percentage or more on the base, see, you can see base right here. There's actually shows where there's one here, but there's not. That's probably one that's being shipped soon, but it's not. We don't have a base, so I don't know why that's in there. But anyway, so it'll show, if you have some, within so many miles from your dealer within your, it does say dealer ordered up there. That's actually for a customer, so I don't know why it's showing there. But it'll show you different ones. So then I can pick my trim. So, and actually it shows Everglades, and if the number is small enough, they said it won't show. In fact, you go Everglades and nothing shows up. So because it's been pulled off the building price, I think. And then if you go base, though, it then eliminates you to just the base. So they said that has to be on there on the building price, or these inventories wouldn't show up. So that's the numbers aren't low enough. So I found that out. He mentioned that too. So there you go.
All right.
Next question.
Hi, Tim. Is the HD backup camera still an issue on the Transit? Do you know what % of production is getting the camera?
It is, we went over that earlier. Wasn't it like 0% on the Transit? Might have to pull the old glasses out for this one. So the high resolution rear camera was at 12%? Let me get my little ruler here.
Another sheet of paper.
12%. So it's at 12% right
Okay.
now. So it is pretty low.
All right. Can you track the car after the train and before the dealer? A Maverick's unloaded from the train Sunday and the dealer has not received it yet. How much longer? Depends on how far your dealer is from the rail.
So for us, like when it gets off the rail and it's in Kansas City, the next step is to be put on a convoy. A lot of times we get that convoy the same day.
Yeah.
So if it's loaded on the convoy, if we get lucky and we actually looked it up every day, then like on my Lightning, I actually did that. Mine, I could see, it says rail, it said convoy, and it was at 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? So I went out, I happened to go out right when it was coming off of there. So you can figure, it was a couple hours, so I actually was able to see mine pull in because I actually had looked at it that morning.
If you go back and
saw
watch, we did some video of it.
Yeah, we did. I did one of it being unloaded and everything.
I did a TikTok.
Yep. So it just depends on if you look every day. You can possibly see that it's headed your way that day. Again, depends on how far your dealer is from the last place that it gets pulled off before it gets put on a convoy.
We're about 2.5 hours away.
Yeah. So for us, it's going to be the same day.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Has Ford cleaned up or cleared up the stop sales on F-150 so Long McArthur can resume its churn and burn?
Are we talking about the recalls?
Yes.
Nope. Some.
Some. But not all.
Nope. Hey, truck month's not over yet. we got till Saturday.
Does it go till Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Trading my
We don't need F-150s for truck month.
trading my 22 Super Cab Ranger for a Bronco Sport Outer Banks. Found out the truck is too much for what I need. Is the Black Diamond off-road package worth what it offers? I don't see the 2.0 Eco.
Yeah, Black Diamond. Let's see. Oh man, I actually thought about that package today, which is really funny because I don't think we have any orders for that. And I was like, oh, I want to do a video on that package. I think we should order. I should order one just so we can get one in. And we probably could order one in stock and be okay. Let me look it up here.
While you're doing that, I'm considering adding Copilot 360 to my XL Maverick Hybrid. It will be the only option I have. Will I lose price protection? Do you expect it to delay the scheduling? Thank you both. No, it should. You won't lose your price protection. It won't affect your order date. Whether or not it affects your scheduling, it's a toss-up.
So the Black Diamond off-road package gets you the underbody protection underneath. You get the graphics, and you get the 17-inch carbonized gray low-gloss wheel. So you get like basically it's the wheel that you would probably see on the Badlands, but available on any of those. So the Black Diamond is available even like on the Big Bend, but it doesn't have anything to do with the engine. So it doesn't upgrade the engine. Just gives you some, in a sense, underbody protection, different wheels for that, and some graphics. And we do know that that's a late availability, so we don't even know if they're producing those yet. And I think it had to do with the underbody protection, which you can get just underbody protection by itself. Where is it? Maybe not on the Big Ben. It was supposed to be a standalone option as well. But that package is not available on the Heritage Edition. Let's see what else. Which one's available? It is available on the Outer Banks, so Big Ben, Outer Banks, and is it available on the Badlands? I don't think so, because the Badlands already gets underbody protection, so it's not available. And it's pretty similar wheel to what you get on the Badlands. It's different. It's gray instead of whatever the color is on those. So, what is the color on those? Anyway. Oh, it is the same. It is the Badlands wheel, and then you get underbody protection. So it's basically taking what you get on the Badlands in a way of underbody protection and wheels, and you get that available in the Outer Banks of the Big Bend. So that's the difference there.
All right.
But we'll have to see, because I don't think we have any of those ordered. So I'm tempted to order a stock one to see if we can get one in.
Okay. If the consumer is being told not to add accessories on the Bronco, why even have them as an option when ordering? I'm talking paint protection, new color grip, trim kit, etc.
Well, and you can put it on there. It's just that I'm recommending that if you want it faster, take it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's a dealer installed option, the dealer would install it there. So some of those dealer installed options, they're just shipped ahead of time. Paint protection, no, I don't think that's put on at the dealer. Maybe it is, but I just know that it's a very low number. So most of when we went over some of these, there weren't that many actual DIOs. Paint protection was the only DIO that was on here as a constraint. So most of them should be okay to order. I don't know. I just noticed on the Maverick there was we had a customer that had like 6 or 8 dealer installed options on his order. In his order, it was a first edition back then, and it wasn't getting scheduled. They said, hey, let's try to take a couple of these DIOs off your order this month, and let's see if it gets scheduled. So we took off 2. We still had like 6 put on there. It didn't get scheduled. So then the next month I said, okay, let's take some more off. I really think that this one is one that affects it. And on the splash guards was one of those. We took those off, and then it got scheduled the next month. And I don't think it's because it took 2 months to do that. I think it was because we took just enough of those DIOs that they had the 2 that were in stock. So let's say if they don't have any in stock, because they got to ship it to the dealer. If they don't have all 6 of them in stock at the same time, but they have 4 of the 6, they're not going to schedule your order. But if you took off a couple and then they have all 4 of those, then they'll schedule it, right? So that's kind of how that works. So again, the more of those constraints, or the less that you have on your order, the more likely you're going to get scheduled.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Sandy, I will get in contact with you tomorrow to help you track the Maverick for you.
It's in Kansas City.
It's in Kansas City?
I think so. I looked at one. I looked at those on Saturday. I went through the whole list. Let's look. It's actually kind of top to the top here. There it is.
Sharma.
It's in Kansas.
All right.
It was on Saturday. It was on the rail passing through Kansas. It wasn't to Kansas City yet, but at the end of that day, it would have been in Kansas City. So it has an ETA of 4.2.
Yep. So
Yeah.
once it comes in, you'll get contacted and we'll get you going.
Yeah. In fact, we have three people that theirs was supposed to be already arrive, and they haven't yet. They're in Kansas City. So,
Yep.
One's supposed to be here the 29th, and that's tomorrow. It's it's in Kansas. So we have actually 1, 2, 3. We should have 5 that should be here real soon.
Answered that one. All right. My XLT Maverick was ordered 11/17/21. Still no word. Do you think if I took off splash guards and my drop-in bed liner that I will get my truck scheduled? Scared to do anything.
Okay, you definitely want to take off those splash guards. Those are they were even on the list of saying there were 4 things listed as a major constraint, and splash guards was on there. So I definitely would take off your splash guards and see what happens, but I'm not saying you take it off. I can guarantee that it'll get scheduled. I'm just saying that is a problem. Take it off, have your dealer install it. It's like 4 screws on each one of those, maybe even 2, and that's what I would do. So.
All right. How many Maverick trimmers do you still have left to be scheduled? What are the chances of mine being scheduled next month?
Well,
Order placed September 19th. XLT.
that's hard to determine. I actually do pull a report about once a week. Last one I pulled was 3/16 because we hadn't got scheduled since then. Are these in order? Here, let me do a data sort here based on column D. Oop. All right. Because all of those have the same body code, W8G, I can actually look. Oh, not that many. 28. We have 28.
All right.
Not too bad at all. I mean, last month we got 6 scheduled. So. I mean, it could just be a couple months. I really feel like all the trimmers will get scheduled this year, this model year.
All right.
And I probably feel like most of the EcoBoost will as well. It's the hybrids that I'm concerned about.
All right. Just curious, since the engine is a constraint with the hybrid engine, can they ramp up production? Can they ramp up production on the hybrid since it's a constraint?
Well, that's the thing is it's those are produced at a different plant, so it's a matter of getting enough. It looks like they're ramping it up and doing 40% this month, so that's good that they're seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that last year too, where they told it was going to be 35%, and then about halfway through the year it went up to 40. But then we also saw orders get canceled, so
Yeah.
we'll see. It's hard to tell.
All right. My F350 6.7 trimmer 3.5 Lariat Ultimate was produced 2/13 out of production on 2/16, pushed to 4/24, then to 5/29. Window sticker available, unscheduled clean. I see a lot of this 5/29 date in the forums. Why?
Probably it may have to do with that 355 because we know that wasn't an option available on the a lot of those non-trimmers until job 2. So it might have been why some of those were getting pushed off to then, would be my only guess. I mean, I'm not at the factories, so I can't tell you, but that might be one of the reasons. So,
Yep.
but that's to answer somebody earlier that asked about trimmer. So we know that some of the trimmers are getting scheduled, but we know that they're probably not getting produced yet, it looks like.
All right. What does COVP stand for?
Customer Order Verification Program.
All right. Converted 22 to 23 MAV order for hybrid Lariat Lux. Still not being scheduled, but Maverick Truck Club has many similar trunks ordered in September 22. I thought converted orders were supposed to be on top. What gives?
It's up to the dealer.
Yes. So if your dealer does not have yours prioritized as a 10 or anything else besides, 19, and everyone's a 19, other people are going to get ahead of you. Some dealers did not prioritize any of their orders, and so everyone's on the same playing field.
But also look and see what you have on your order.
Yes.
So we had we looked, and like every month we were seeing all of our previous, because we put all of our orders in 10 to 14s, and then we put all our new orders as 15s. So we made sure to prioritize last year's orders that didn't get scheduled. And so this last month we had 18 allocations. We had like 9 orders left, and I said, oh, this is great. We're going to probably get all of those leftover orders scheduled. Guess what? 2 orders got overlooked, and we had new orders getting built over them. Do you know why? One of them had splash guards, and one of them had the bed tray liner. 2 of the items that were mentioned as being a constraint. So we got with the sales guys and said, you need to call these customers. We need to remove these items, or they're going to continue to be overlooked almost every month. So one of them did remove theirs. The other one did not. So we'll just have to see if it gets scheduled and which one doesn't. But that could be too. So you might look and see what's on your order. Make sure you don't have splash guards. I would take off any tonneau covers if I were you. I would also make sure bed tray liner isn't on there. And then what was the other one? Splash guards, bed tray liner, tonneau cover. Oh, and tow hitch.
Yes.
So that could cause it, but I mean, really, we're seeing some of the early ones getting the tow hitches. So that's what I would see. And the other situation is, is your dealer prioritizing your order as a 10, and their new orders as a further or push back? That's the other thing you want to see. Or do they put them all in the same? Some dealers will do that.
All right.
There you go.
Took your advice, ordered black diamond cloth top, Sasquatch modular 4-door eruption green. Here. Received my order email. What is my chances of getting scheduled in 23?
It must be delayed. Mine's not coming up. All right.
There it is. Oh. There.
Okay. Black diamond cloth top, Sasquatch modular. Well, I think. Well, like I said earlier, I think even with cloth top, you got a pretty darn good shot. I mean, you really do. Being black diamond, I think they have 4% of the orders in the order bank are black diamond, and their capacity is 8%. So that I think could help as well. Even though the production is very lower than the Wild Track, the amount of orders is lower as well. So that could help. Going cloth top definitely helps. Sasquatch could throw a little wrench in that a little bit, but so we'll just have to see. But I think the cloth top's going to help you, because like I said, of all of our orders, only 2 out of all of our orders were cloth tops, and so that is going to probably help your order, because if they're looking and going, we need cloth top orders, well, there's one with Sasquatch, let's go ahead and order that one, and then they won't order a hard top Sasquatch instead, because they'll give that Sasquatch to your order because they don't have to deal with the hard top, right? So again, the lower number of those you have, the better. So I think you got a good shot of getting scheduled in the first couple months. So.
All right. I have my Maverick order with McArthur EcoBoost. How many more XL EcoBoost do you have left to get scheduled?
How many more EcoBoosts?
XL EcoBoost.
XL. Well, that's going to be even harder. It's pretty difficult to. I mean. Yeah, I could do the same thing for that. Let's just go by F. Let's just, oh wait, engine. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, I hate to say this because we really don't know what mixture they're going to schedule for us. I mean, if they do a schedule based on, the hard part is too, we're looking at tremors, and we know tremors. How many tremors did we say? 28.
Mm-hmm.
Scrolling down.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of EcoBoost orders.
A lot of people switch from hybrid to EcoBoost.
So we have about 160 EcoBoost orders left that needs to be scheduled. So, some of those are, some of those are trimmers, but not those. We got about 160 EcoBoost non-trimmers that need to be scheduled, and 65% EcoBoost, they'll probably go a little bit faster than the hybrids. So.
Yep. All right. Regarding Super Duty ordering, what is the cost of the black appearance package? About $47. If I order the Lariat Ultimate, it looks like you lose out on the power deployable running boards. Is that correct?
Well, power deployable running boards aren't on the black appearance package.
But is it on the Lariat Ultimate?
Yes. And then because the black appearance package comes with the black boards, you get the black boards instead. But
so yes, it does remove the power deployable running boards and replaces them with the black appearance package running boards?
Yes. Let me double check though. Sometimes they will make and allow you to add as an option the power boards. So I'm looking up a lot of word guides today.
Oh, and since the black appearance package includes a spray and bed liner, will it probably be constrained?
No, like that one, they'll probably try to give most of those a spray and liner. But I don't really like when they do that because, just like with the Maverick, we saw that last year be a major issue because they included it in that package. All right, let me go down to the bottom here. All right. Well, it doesn't mention that you can add as optional equipment the power running boards. I'd have to just try it, but more than likely because you get the black running boards, that's the board you get with it. It's kind of like saying, I want the black appearance package, but I want the black appearance package wheels. You got to take what's the wheels that go with it. So that's probably the same way on those boards. Does the Lariat Ultimate package come with? It does come with power boards. Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you order those together, you probably don't get the power boards. You're going to get the running boards from the black appearance package.
All right.
That situation.
Okay. I'm definitely a fan of the two-door Bronco. However, I'm surprised on the amount of new orders on McArthur just received. What is your thoughts on why you received so many compared to previous years?
I don't know, to be honest. I think maybe people are seeing that there's they like the look of them more out there. I do know that I was on All Terrain Nation's live stream last night, and the dealer that's on there with him, they also took a bunch of two-door orders. So it's kind of weird how they're coming out, but so that is going to be an issue. I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it, other than people like the look of it, not just the look.
Yeah, Snipers PS4, that was 160 EcoBoost orders. That was not X trim specific.
XLs. No, I mean you'd have to take those then and start counting like how many XLs.
Yeah.
Which probably wouldn't be that difficult. What, 1, 2?
There's fewer XLs than anything.
3, 4.
But to your other question, any idea what Ford will do with my XL EcoBoost hybrid order if it doesn't get built this year due to XL trim constraints? We don't know what they'll do with it, but if it doesn't get built this year, we will roll it over to next year, so we'll re-input it for you.
$25.
25 XL.
25. And we got to remember they're going to schedule XLs, period, not just hybrid or EcoBoost at 15%. So, yeah. So, yeah, any order that doesn't, I mean, we'll more than likely, we'll have a lot that won't get scheduled, and we'll have to put them in as 24 orders. But I don't know about, we don't know. Like I said, we don't, when we put those orders in, we don't know each month what they're, they may say, hey, we need, I mean, so we've had that happen in the past. We're like, hey, we need, like on the Bronco, we need claw top orders. You get a claw top order in there, more than likely it's going to get scheduled. They do the same thing with us on Explorers. Hey, we need some Explorer XLT orders. If you put one in, we can guarantee it'll get scheduled because we need to fulfill that protection line for that trim. Same thing goes for these. They might, we don't know how they're going to schedule. They might decide, hey, this month we're going to do 70%, well, it looks like 60%, EcoBoost orders and 40% hybrids. That's the way they're going to schedule,
Yeah. All right, follow up to my previous question. Dealer is probably doing all as priority 10, but since about 3 days after order conversion, Ford Chat had priority as 2. Does dealer still make a difference? Oh, does dealer priority still make a difference?
Yes. So a 2 is going to have first priority over a 10. So dealer's probably, yeah. So the lowest they can go is 10. Ford Chat. Yeah, I'm not sure what type of order you had, but I mean, usually, like lately, we haven't been seeing orders go into priority 2 unless it's been like a specialty build. So.
All right. What did you say the constraint percent was on the 2.3 engine for the Bronco? I think the 2.3 and hardtop are the only constraints on my order.
35%. 2.3.
Okay. One for Niles. Do you know who manufactures the Ford hard trifold tonneau? We'll add it in the chat.
Yep.
Any idea what Ford will do? Oh, I answered that one. Last question for the Bronco Sport. If you had a choice between the Big Ben with the majority of packages included or the Outer Banks with majority of packages included, which would be best money to what you get?
So Big Ben, your cloth. Outer Banks, your leather. Well, ActiveX. So that's the big kicker. Plus appearance, different grills, that kind of thing. I'd have to look at all the other things you add, but they're all also on the Outer Banks. There's a lot of standard equipment that you get. Let's look here. Back to Bronco Sport. All right, going down to the Outer Banks. So a lot of times on these builds, on the build sheets, it'll say, okay, like on the Outer Banks, it'll say it takes everything from the Big Ben. You get everything as part of that, plus you get these other features. So this one actually says includes all Big Ben standard features plus these, and it's there's a lot here. So you're talking body colored door handles now instead of the black. You get a different grille. Upgrades, you get LED fog lights that are included standard equipment now. Different roof rack rails, different wheels, so you get an upgraded wheel with that. The ambient lighting is now included on the inside. Dual climate control is standard on this. Floor mat, so you're getting like everything. The seats are leather trim. They actually does say leather trim, not ActiveX. Power driver seat, power passenger seat, heated front seats are all included. Some of those you might go to Big Ben and you have to go up to the package on the Big Ben to get those. So I think the convenience package, so basically you're on the Outer Banks, you're getting everything from the Big Ben and the convenience package together as standard equipment on the Outer Banks. But then the Outer Banks has their own package upgrade too, called the Tech package, that gives you the B&O, garage door opener, charging pad, HD radio. That package isn't available on the Big Ben, so that's the difference. They both have the Copilot 360 Assist Plus package available, but that's probably the biggest differences is the look. You're getting some of those convenience features, part of that convenience package included in the Outer Banks, if that makes sense. And I do have breakdown of each of those trims on our YouTube channel. Look at the playlist for Bronco Sport. I have one for each of the different trims if you want to know what's standard and then what's optional in those different packages. I go through those. I call them complete guide videos. So there you go. So in the chat, so if you have any other questions, we're not done with questions necessarily. If you have one that maybe some of the other questions spiked your thought process, then you can drop those down.
Yeah.
Sorry, something I needed to tell her. But
All
you
right.
smell it?
Yeah. It's awful. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
But it's not
Any
our
other
usual person.
questions we have? Niles is still in here. This is a late night for Niles.
Yes. He's going to be a zombie tomorrow morning.
All right. Any other questions for you?
Ridgeview did say, so sorry you couldn't join in, but there was a surprise Q&A afterwards with one of the people that had to do with the show. So
Oh, cool.
they were just leaving at like 8:30.
Cool.
So.
All right.
All right.
Anything else there?
It's not possible to get a rail car number without using the dealer, to my knowledge.
Well, yeah. I mean, the dealer usually can get it for you, and then you can track it from there. The dealer can track it now too.
Pie or cake?
So last year, like or before we got VinView, you got the rail car number and you couldn't see the rail car number. You didn't know, and there that system was like, oh, once it got to this next rail junction, then it moved. That's when you got a notification of a tracking point. Now with VinView, a dealer can at any time look at that and see that rail moving up, so you can see where all. I mean, we see now sometimes they'll come, in Harrington, they'll come through the rail goes through McPherson, through Harrington, on up to Kansas City for the Mavericks, and so we can actually see that happen on there, which is kind of cool. So, but they can see that on there. They don't have to see the rail car number anymore. They can actually track it that way instead.
Yeah.
So.
Pie or cake?
For what?
Just pie or cake?
Pie or cake?
Depends. Is it cheesecake?
Pie.
I only like pumpkin pie. Other than that, I prefer.
I'll eat apple, cherry. I mean.
No. I'll eat the filling.
Pecan pie. I used to pecan pie. I worked before working here. I worked for Brahms, and their pecan pie was amazing. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, gotta warm it up though. A little bit of whipped cream.
All right.
All right. Anything else? Getting a little chilly in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. What happens when you cancel your order with a dealership? Well, a couple things can happen. So technically, when you put that order in with the dealer, it is the dealer's order, and that's in your name. So if you say, "Hey, you're going to cancel your order," the dealer can go in and cancel if they want to, or they can keep it in there, and it can still come in. Because once you place that order, the dealer, has your information. That's how on some of those situations they need COVP. But right now, those orders aren't scheduled based on the COVP. They're based on dealer allocations. So they're still using an allocation to get your order in. So if you decide, hey, I don't need it, I'm canceling it, then when it comes in, then the dealer can still leave it in there, and it can get scheduled and come in, and at that point they can sell it to whoever they want. So
yeah. We
actually have somebody on an F-150 Lightning that canceled their order after it was already produced. It was produced in December. We still haven't seen it yet. And they canceled it after it was produced. In fact, just like a month ago or something. Well, we can't stop it from being produced. It was already produced, so we can't stop that. But when it comes in, he doesn't want it, so we can sell it to whoever. So that's usually how that would work. But what we're doing though, for us, especially on a Maverick, if somebody cancels, we cancel the order. We go ahead and we'll go ahead and kick it out of there. That helps other people's orders get fulfilled. So we do that on Bronco and that kind of thing. Same way we told a lot of our customers on Bronco, hey, we're doing a $500 deposit because we want to make sure that the person's serious, especially if we're limited on our allocations. So that's why we ask for a deposit. We are saying non-refundable deposit, but we also are telling them, but we're not unreasonable. If your order doesn't get scheduled, or you find something, need to get something, whatever, and it hasn't been scheduled yet, we'll give you your money back. We'll cancel your order. So, but once that's scheduled, we can't stop it, and that was ordered for you in your configuration. So although yes, probably could sell it without any problem, but that took somebody else's possible order away. So once that gets scheduled, usually they get scheduled 2 months out, and then you're getting your vehicle within 3 months. We expect you to take it. So that's the only time we would know non-refundable. So that's kind of what we're doing on that. We're also doing that on Mustang, since we're only getting 39 or 38 allocations for 18 months, which is not typical. We usually get like 6, 7 a month on the Mustang. So in 18 months, we were expecting, close to 100, and we're getting 38. So all disappointing.
All right. Yes, I did fill Tim in on what the question meant from Friday. She sent me an email, said that I was correct. Alan Mooney says, could you possibly bunch these questions together like the first 15 minutes, all F-150 questions, then Bronco, then Maverick? So the problem with that theory is, one, we have one question box, and they all get thrown in there, and some people are like, even if we're in the F-150 section, they're like, oh, I have this Bronco question. The other part of it is that we'll be in the Bronco section, and they'll be like, oh, I did have this question on the F-150.
Okay, since you interpret questions better than I do, do they mean that they want the Q&A as its own video? Or do they mean they want the questions rearranged?
No, like the
by
first
how they
15 minutes of the live, do questions. So the other part of it is that all those questions that we went through, they started trickling in at the very beginning of the video. We usually only have 5 questions at the very beginning, and then 10 questions in the next segment.
We actually used to
do them throughout.
And then I thought, well, let me just get to the news and then do Q&A. And sometimes, I might answer something throughout that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way we're going to do things.
It's kind of how we just do things. Yes, some people do need to wait a little bit for their question to be answered. But you can always leave and then watch the replay later.
And we'll answer that question.
And we'll answer that.
Yeah, and we do see, it's actually not happening tonight, but usually after the news stuff, it usually drops off. But actually most of you kind of stayed on. Just dropped off a little bit. But anyway.
All right.
Price protection has a 6-month limit? Nope.
Yep, and we covered that earlier.
No. Yeah, he may not, but that was just asked right there. So, price protection isn't a 6-month limit. So, like, if you ordered in September and they do a price increase in February, you're not just price protected for 6 months, which would be what, March? So then you're saying, if your order comes in April, then you're not price protected because it's over 6 months. That's not true.
No.
You're protected within the model year. So if there's a price increase, let's say your vehicle even comes in and the 24 model year has launched and already taken orders and they're starting to produce them, but yours is coming in, towards the end of that, you're still price protected to the price that you ordered a year prior to that. So if your vehicle comes in let's say September of this year, you order last September, you're still price protected to the price it was when you ordered.
So, Alan, you're saying questions rearranged, put them at the front. So some people want to hear the news before we get to questions, because sometimes he answers the question when he's going through the news.
Because we've actually had some times where we kind of did some questions at the beginning, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to talk about that later. And
and I'll say, we're about to talk about that. We're about to talk about. But then after we get through the news, they're like, oh, well, I didn't think about this one or this way of thinking about it. And so then we have more Q&A, so we'd have to do lots more Q&A than anything.
AH says, how do priority codes work? Is 10 or 19 the best? The lower the better. It's like golf. So, the lower. So the region can put something below 10, which a 1 is the best. So it's kind of like you're number 1, you're the best. 2 is next, and then goes on up from there. So all of the dealer stock orders are put in anywhere from 20 to 80, and then retails are always before that, so 10 to 19. So the lower the better. So I was moving up because I didn't want to miss any other questions.
H said,
Super Duty FX is a glitch. My dealer said. Did you get that email? Well, I didn't get an email about that. I actually emailed the brand manager, and he told me that. So. And I emailed back to today to see if that was updated or changed, and it was not.
Yeah.
All right. And then Marcia, did you say, good to know, have you ever hauled bulk soil or mulch? Did you remove the cover?
You don't need to remove the cover.
I guess depends on your load. Is a hybrid back seat floor flat? No. So it's kind of...
It does have a bump.
It opens up. Or do you mean underneath the seat? Or no, on the floor? Yeah, there's a
hump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Email from corporate, not yet. Just wanted to go back and see if I missed any. Ooh.
When you cancel your order with your dealer, did you go over that?
Yeah.
Okay. And they were talking about bed covers and stuff with Niles.
Yeah, we don't know when that glitch is going to be fixed. It could be fixed now. I don't know.
For a required vehicle, do you think I can get pushed to a priority code 1 through corporate?
Typically what happens is, like, we know that any of the manually allocated orders are always 1. So all of our lightnings, like if you look, all of our unscheduled lightnings right now all have a priority of 1. So it's letting Ford know, like, especially on the F-150, since they schedule F-150 and lightnings together, the same system. So they give all the lightnings a priority 1. So they'll try to schedule them first out. And so, but typically anymore, like last year we did see where they used that, hey, a dealer has allocations based on their orders, so they would take the orders that received those allocations they earned them for, they would give them priority 2, so they knew that those were already taken care of and accounted for. And they do that each month, but they're not doing that anymore. So we don't see a lot of priority 2s anymore because of that. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I might try, not on the video here, but I might try to see if I can make a change. I tried it Sunday, but I haven't tried it since then to see if you can add that 355 to an FX4, which might actually be difficult because I'd have to find an order with the FX4 to be able to do that on, but I'll try it out. While we take any other questions. Any other questions? Let's see. Any reason why the Heritage doesn't offer the modular bumper and bull bar? Probably because they want to keep that look for all of them. Maybe, I don't know. Good point though. That would look good with the modular bumper.
I wonder if McArthur is telling the purchaser the down reserve payment may not be refunded.
Yeah. So we talked about just a little bit ago that if you don't get scheduled, then we'll give you your money. I mean, we're not unreasonable. We just want to make sure that people are putting in an order and they're not going, hey, I'm going to put in 10 orders with 10 different dealers and see who I get scheduled for first. Well, we kind of want to make sure that people plan to put an order, they plan to buy it, so that just, putting some money down says that. If you ordered a vehicle, let's say you order a Mach-E, you order a Lightning, or now a Bronco Sport if you're in the right state, if you order it online, you're required to put a deposit down. So it's really no different than that. Just like with those two, we actually had somebody that went ahead and ordered a Lightning. Theirs hasn't been scheduled yet.
Right.
They canceled it. Their Lightning, they said, you know what, I don't want it. They got their money back. So again, we're not, not unreasonable to that fact. Okay, let me look here and see if I can take out 23s, and let's go down scheduled, and let's try to, it has to be a 6-7. Actually, I might do a high output because I know it's available on that one. All right, so let me see if I can figure out, see if I can find an FX4 on one of these. Might take a couple clicks. But
Macy said the 355 and FX glitch was happening this morning at 9 a.m.
Okay, I actually got lucky, first one. So yeah, it's still grayed out. It's still, when I click on it, still tells me that I have to, wait a minute.
So we are doing,
that's new.
We are doing a refundable deposit until you get scheduled, and it becomes non-refundable.
Okay, so this one actually tells me adding that feature conflicts with, no, it still says it conflicts with the FX4, so it says, but now we have a warning that if you add the trimmer package, then you can do it. So the question is, yeah, I'm still waiting. I mean, hopefully we get confirmation that it's either, say, just let us know yes or no, because so far it's been one of those situations where they've said it's available and there's nothing. If it's not available on that FX4 package, say this is not compatible with the 355, and we'll move on. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. So
priority code 11 is just higher than the priority 19. So when Ford's looking at scheduling vehicles, they're going to look at the 11s before 19.
Yep. All right, so Vol says, I can't remember McArthur requiring a non-refundable deposit. I think they did one. Okay, did one for the Bronco. Yeah, and on Maverick we didn't do. But here's that's a kind of situation we have. So on Maverick we didn't require any deposit.
Yes.
We have all these people that ordered. A lot of them are canceling and we're having vehicles that are coming in and they're not taking them. And so I think if we had required a deposit more, then more of them probably would. So again, it's kind of like it's just getting the validity of these people are serious about ordering a vehicle. So,
all of our new orders are priority 15, and all of our crossovers are 10 through 14.
Yeah, on our Maverick. Now all of our carryovers are 10s because I moved them all up to 10. Right. So, yep.
Okay.
Because we only had 2 left.
So if I have a buyback with Ford Corporate, what can I ask to get the truck expedited? So AH is saying that their Super Duty is being bought back by Ford.
Is that the one that on their 23?
I don't know. 22? I don't know. Our Heritage is in the same ballpark as being delayed.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a new one on me. I don't know how that process works on that.
I think Kevin has dealt with a buyback before, but I don't think they wanted the same vehicle. When they were like, I don't want this anymore. I'm taking this instead. Buy this back for me. So they did. Because that's usually what happens is once you've had a bad experience with a vehicle, most people don't want the same vehicle. They want to get something different, usually a different brand.
Somebody ask about Heritage versus Wild Track about being delayed. Heritages are being produced at a smaller amount than even than the Wild Track. So it's kind of like an appearance package on the F-150 is kind of the same way. They're all very low numbers, and that's the way Heritage Edition is going to be as well. So
heated steering wheel. Don't know. On F-150, still constrained or still not added, or it's a removal?
The heated steering wheel? On the I know on the electric version, Lightning, there we go, that it's available. It's back on now. On the F-150, I think it's still listed as something that they remove. And Ford will usually remove that when it becomes available again. They'll put it back on. They did that with a bunch of Lightning orders. We had some that had the removal on there, and then we noticed, hey, in February they started producing them again with them, and they were back in. So probably being down for a month helped.
Yeah. I'm behind on the video. I don't remember them doing a deposit for 23 Maverick. We did not do Maverick deposits.
No.
AH says, yes, it's a 22. They are charging mileage while I wait for the replacement. I'm sure I ordered the 23 as a replacement option. Just wondering how I can get that order expedited.
Yeah, you'd have to have your dealer kind of help you with that.
Yeah, they need to talk to...
Yeah, if we're your dealer, then we need to get with your salesperson and see. But to be honest, I don't think that... the factory still builds the vehicles on what they can. The factory's like, hey, here's the orders we need to build. They build them. So the factory doesn't really have much say on that. And it's more or less, I don't know how anybody can push it forward to get it produced any faster. But
okay. What is the key fob situation on XLT Maverick? Still 1+ dummy?
On the Maverick, regular key fobs. That was never a thing. It was on the order guide, but it was never put into play. Just like there's things that are on the order guide for the Bronco that aren't being introduced. One of those was the base LED headlights versus the LED signature lighting, and saying that need to be removed on the Outer Banks and the Badlands. And even though it was on the order guide, it wasn't something they needed to implement. They just had it on there in case they have a part issue. Then they were going to have it in there so they could flip it and keep producing and not be stuck. Because the factory says, here's what we have. We don't have that many keys, so we don't do this anymore. That option has to be put on the window sticker for them to be able to build the vehicle, because they build it the way the window sticker says, and that's what they're tied to. So they want to make sure that. So a lot of times they'll have those options on there, but you'll see in there that this only is put on the order if it needs to because of problems or constraints or supplies. The key, the one-on-one key, was never introduced in the Maverick last year or this year. So you're going to get it however the order guide says is standard on your vehicle. So, great question. So, all right. I think we probably need to, we got one last question. We're going to call it for the night. They said the lowest they can go is a 10 at the dealer level. That's true. I'm wondering if the reacquired department, the corporate, you can talk to your dealer. They can always make a phone call to the head of the region, and they can go ahead and see what they could do. So,
we don't know if they're bringing the sensor high-mounted bed camera back.
Yeah, right now that's still a removal, and at this point it's not. And I think it's even now a removal on the Super Duty. So I think that's all that. So
there was one more that I saw, and I was like, oh. And now I can't find it. I'm not seeing it. Our Heritage is in the same ballpark as being built as a wall track.
Yeah, we talked to, I answered that a little bit ago.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I think that was all of them.
So.
All right. I'm ready to get out of here. I don't know what it smells like smoke.
All right. So I think that'll be about it for tonight. So thank you for all the questions. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, don't forget, next week we'll not have a Q&A. It'll be a video, pre-recorded video that goes over all the normal stuff we talk about, production, scheduling, dealer news updates, and everything like that. As of Monday, probably into business, I'll probably record that Monday evening, and that kind of thing, or late Monday.
Yeah.
And so just so you know that, it'll be a premiered video, so you can still be on here, chat with each other, but just know that we're not going to answer questions back or reply back because it'll be pre-recorded. So just want to let you guys know that, but we'll still deliver the content you normally expect next week, as we're traveling to New York next week. So, So other than that, I'll be on Facebook Live Thursday night. Members, don't forget, we'll still do the member video Friday and Saturday of this week, like we normally do. Other than that.
And if we didn't get to your question, email us at one of the emails below, and we'll certainly assist you.
Into an approximate time to build a Bronco, since it is already in production. Technically, it only takes 1 day to build it, but it has to go through testing, inspections, and everything else, and then wait on to get on the rail. So that can take a little while.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys very much. Don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another,
And be kind to yourselves.
and we'll see you later.